I said right next to him, but I didn't
Yeah.
know.
No. All right,
Broke the TV.
yeah, that's all right. We'll go ahead and call the August 2026 meeting to order. If we could get a roll call, please.
Allen. Miller.
Here.
Shevitz.
Here.
Minders.
Yes.
Reuter.
Yes.
Manthe.
Yes. All right, that's one. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. President's remarks for things not on the agenda. I would just note that the April 6, 2027 election for the three trustee positions currently held by Miles Manthe, Butch Minders, and Kyle Reuter are set to expire. Petitions can be received from the village clerks on August 25th, starting on August 25th, and they must be turned in November, between November 16th and November 23rd. Those will be on the website. You can also just call the clerks, and we'll do another announcement online and in November when those are due.
It also will be in the paper because we're required to do that. So it'll be in the Mirror Democrat, the next two issues.
Very good. Any trustee comments or anything not on the agenda tonight? All right. Public comments. You guys are all here for an agenda item. Anything else additional you want to talk about today? No.
I have one public question from somebody who's not able to be here. Kenny Preston messaged me and asked if I could ask the board if we could make the Fairgraham Road project proposal available to the public for viewing.
And that's something that can be done. So we'll just get it online, but if it's not up there, as soon as you would like, you can just message me and I'll send them the proposal. So thank you. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Trustees can start viewing that if they haven't already done so, and we'll get some reports in the meantime. Bodie, zoning?
We did about 3 building permits, fence permits, village maintenance, with our gravel road that we have on South Stanton. We're hoping maybe the end of the week, early next week, they should be here to chip and seal some stuff. Safety report, no accidents, and ordinance enforcement, I did 7 warnings and no violations, so everyone seems to be complaining.
Will we be taking the hump out of Stanton Street?
Well,
When you come from the south, you kind of jump into it.
I'll have to look at it. We'll have to fine tune it a little bit before they come, so.
Please. Thank you.
Perry's not here tonight. Water report is in your packet. Generally, water usage continues to be much higher than it has been year over year. I asked Perry if there's any need to try some enforcement, try to get it down, and hopefully with the rain last few days, that won't be an issue. But water hasn't been pumped from the well at a considerable pace compared to usual. I think she said 8 hours one of the days in the last month, which is way higher than it normally is, but no real concerns to address on the village level at this point. Do I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
Yes.
I'll second it. First by Manthe, second by Minders.
It was Reuter, but that's okay. I'll take credit for it.
I didn't know I was that good at throwing my way. I'll try that.
All right, Allen.
Yes.
Miller.
Yep.
Shevitz.
Yes.
Minders.
Yes.
Reuter.
Yes.
Manthe.
Yes.
All right. Just in time before we get to the agenda, any public comments? No? Okay. Very good. All right, first on the agenda then is the review of the grant loan application from Heroes Last Hope. I have their website pulled up here for all of you here, and I did send out their submission as well. I can pull that up, but they are a tax exempt organization with the IRS. They are proposing to buy the building just to the east of us, actually, I believe. And why don't you guys just go ahead and tell us a little bit about it?
All right.
So for some of you guys that don't know me, my name is Mike Korbacheski. I serve on the Shannon Fire Department as an EMT and fireman for the past going on 6 years, roughly, maybe.
Sure. Oh,
But my journey started when back in 2010, when me and my wife served in the Marine Corps. I was wounded in 2010 and was forced into retirement. And through those transitions, I found myself relocated in Lake Carroll, Illinois, or Lanark, Illinois. And through my time in service, I've been put through the ringer of going through the VA systems, the medics. And in turn, I ended up finding myself and finding my true passion in life was to help others and continue my service through helping other veterans and the communities that fall around them. Dug even deeper into that through my other passions of helping other veterans. I found out how the impact affects the family. It affects the children. So there's things called secondary PTSD. And even digging even deeper, I find out how it affects a lot of the veterans that I've worked with. Those problems stemmed long before their time in service. It affected from generational trauma. So with the Here's Less Hope Foundation, what we're proposing to bring to this area is resources for veterans, first responders, and their families to be able to heal together, to grow together, and to be able to offer these and bring them here into a rural area so they don't have to go out to those further cities to receive that type of treatment. And because of that, I often find when I meet other veterans, I find that there's a sense of loss of purpose when they take off that uniform. When they take off the uniform, whether it's a police officer, firefighter, they take off the uniform. So you have a man that's lost his purpose or a woman that's lost their purpose in life. And what they're trying to do is they often fall ill to unhealthy coping mechanisms. So what we want to do is we have several programs implemented into our foundation where any of the at-risk youth in the local school districts that might need help with leadership in these children, we end up pairing them up after the veteran or first responder goes through our course, our leadership course, in strict guidelines, and they follow the Illinois social emotional learning guidelines so they can actually be more self-accountable, self-resilient, and have emotional intelligence to be able to be the next leaders of the next generations to come. So being able to pass down that leadership traits to these young men and women, it will help the next generations so they can continue their service. You know, they can find their different ways of healing. Like right now we signed our clinical director for our foundation, who's a really well-known social worker out of Freeport. She works with a lot of the younger youth in the school districts. And I'm currently working on my degree to be able to become a licensed clinical social worker so I could be able to counsel other veterans, other first responders. And so with our staff being able to grow, that's why we are trying to actually move this into a structural facility. At first, this was not going to be a thing until maybe a couple of years down the line. But when we saw our opportunity that this building, and me and my wife just looked at it and we're like, this has all the space we possibly can need to be able to utilize this and be able to bring it to a rural community. And that's the main focus of ours is driven. And we have all the experience that I've had prior to this in the past 7 years. I've been running men's groups twice a week through different nonprofit organizations to help with mental health. In the past 2 years, we've gotten 93 veterans into sober living homes, reunited with their families, being able to grow and become a better part of their family so the family can grow as a whole. And in turn, they'll become better citizens, better family members, and all around a better person. Because we all know how a lot of things can fall ill to unhealthy coping mechanisms, because if you get a firefighter or a police officer that gets off of their shift and the first thing they think about is, crack that beer, take the edge off the day. But we're trying to implement mental health modalities that can actually help them choose the route that'll better themselves and better their families in a whole. So with all the resources that me and my wife occurred over the years, we want to be able to give them to rural communities and have access to that, whether it's sending a first responder, their wife, to a marriage retreat, or whether it's sending a service member, active duty or veteran, to several of the retreats that we already know that are in place that we host. I personally are involved with several retreats that are down in Texas and Utah and in Tennessee. So we actually seen the growth. We've seen how the positive impact and the home front in the community that it affects. And we're just hoping to bring this to rural communities. And for the future, we're hoping to implement these in all the rural communities so it can grow even bigger. And if you guys have any questions, and I really do appreciate your time to take me time to listen to me and hear my speech.
So the grant is for purchase of the building,
Yes.
making sure the building is built the way you need it to be able to. I imagine so just to recap, there's going to be counseling services on site.
Yes.
Eventually, that's the goal.
As soon as the building would be ready, we actually have a licensed counselor that will be there. So
And this will be on demand, essentially. Someone reaches out to you and you
yes, they
schedule
can fill out
time.
the application online and request the type of service they need, whether the involvement they want to have is them seeking help for their spouse or family member,
Mhm.
and being able to figure out the right avenue for them of how we can help them, whether it's sending their family on a retreat, sending them on a marriage retreat, or depends on the type of counseling. We have several different sober living homes that we've worked with that we're able to send veterans to, first responders to. And there's applications for people that want to get involved to help. There's applications for the teens programs that we run through the organization.
The original application was for $40,000, 20 from the village, 20 from the bank, because that's what was left over essentially in year one. I think, if I understand correctly, we're actually moving into year two now, and it's on the agenda tonight to determine, if we want to continue, how we want to continue, if we want to increase it. But I believe my understanding is, if possible, you would like 25,000 from the village and 25 match from the bank. Is that correct? So 20,000 was what was asked for because that's what was left in year one. But they would ask for 5,000 essentially from year two as well, if possible. So 25,000 from the village, matched by 25,000 from the bank.
How long do you think it would take to get the building ready for you guys to be up and running?
So we're trying to just get the front part, as long as we get the entranceway, the back can
Yeah.
take the time, we're not too, so as long as it's cleared out and we'll be there probably almost every day getting it ready, so it really shouldn't take more than, I would say, 6 months at the most to get it ready for walking.
And that's the one thing I never understood growing up in the city too, was the community aspect and how impactful the community actually is. Because when they said the term, it says, I believe, was it Tom Kemple said it once, it takes a village. And I never understood that. Us moving out here from growing up in the south side of Chicago and not understanding that until we actually seen it firsthand, is we have a tribe of people that are willing to just put in the work and being like, when are we gonna start working? When are we gonna start working on this building?
Yeah.
And I never understood that until I actually came to a small town and seen it firsthand, how many people are willing to help and jump in, and absolutely fell in love with it, because that's what my heart and the cloth that me and my wife are cut from as being Marines, is being of service.
Any other questions?
Do you want to, not to interrupt, but do you want to skip to
I was gonna say, do we have to vote on?
do we have to skip to number 6 to come back to number 1?
No, because this board's already approved in our appropriations this project for another year.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
But again, appropriations are just the max amount you can expect.
Do you currently own the building?
No, we do not currently own the
Or
building.
is under contract?
We did put an offer for the building. If the offer was accepted on the building under certain contingencies,
Finance being one of them?
that's correct.
Just checking. I'm blaming.
Who would be the owner of it?
Would be the owner of the building would be the foundation.
Okay.
Well, I think it'd be a great service. How long has I have it up here. You got tax exempt status last year, I believe.
Yes.
Original filing date September of last year.
Yes.
What have you been doing for the last year? I mean, you haven't been without a building, so
Oh, no,
I'm sure
no.
I'm sure it's been a little bit more
You
difficult.
should see his office.
So yes, that's another part of the reason for the building is, so for the past several years, this whole organization's been in the works of us planning it, us being strategic about it, making sure that we have a strong front to be able to go forth with everything that we're doing, making the context that we've had to be able to put these veterans where they need to be, the first responders where they need to be, and be able to offer these kind of services to the general public for us. So we've done all the work, and like everything that I have been talking about, I have already done. We've already been doing. There's several documentaries and YouTube videos online. I don't know, you guys still probably don't have the time for that right now, but through the other organization I've partnered with too is the Tomorrow Battalion, and we've held several retreats that I've been key leaders for, counselors for. We've done severe work with teens that experience secondary PTSD. We put them through a really grueling weekend of a mock Border Patrol agent mission. And we were able to break these teens down to the point where they were able to become vulnerable. They're able to express themselves, talk about their insecurities. And for anybody that has raised a teenager, that's it seems almost near puzzling, like on a Rubik's Cube to actually solve. But I've seen these young men within the 3 days that we've had them on that retreat. I've seen these young men being able to overcome those issues, overcome the adversities in their lives, become up and stay strong leaders and understand and work as a team. And at the end of it, we pushed them forward, and being able to implement the other programs that I was talking about is where the mentorship from first responders is pretty much it piggybacks off of like the Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi. You learn from the wise man. You know, you have all these guys with such great knowledge, and being able to push it forward so they can hear some of these guys that we had speak. We had Medal of Honor recipients speak. We've had other veterans speak and tell them their stories. We've had guys that grew up in Chicago with rough lives. One of them was the founder of the Hells Angels, and now he's a pastor, changed his life around and devoted to God. And now he speaks publicly about how much God affected his life and impacted his life, and was able to turn around and be able to reach these young men and women to be able to tell them the path that they need to take. There's a light out of it, instead of thinking that their life is solely the life they have to live. So, I mean, I've experienced everything.
Yeah, the thing I was trying to say is this, this idea, you finally get into a building, but something you've been doing for some time now.
I've been doing this since I gotten out of the Marine Corps until I actually was able to turn it around to be able to offer it to other veterans. So, I mean, I've done everything from going to different retreats, Brazilian rainforest medicine, understanding experiences, been a part of different studies at contracting companies out of the Bolingbrook area in Illinois. Their main headquarters is out of Pennsylvania, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They are our main contributors right now for funding. But as soon as more we grow, we're going to be doing more outsource reaching for grants, different VA grants that they offer for different mental health. And there's several different first responder grants that we have too, and mental health in general for the state of Illinois, because we'll be able to cover all three bases of veterans, first responders, and community mental health. Just because, so for the fact that we're actually giving back and being able to help the youth and help the next generation. So we're actually being able to cover all three grant packages too.
And I'm assuming, Ryan, that it's been a while since we've had an application, a few months, so remind me that I'm thinking about this correctly. It has to go to the bank first for them to look at and approve.
And they've
before it
already
comes to us.
approved it, so,
That's what I wanted to make
You're
sure.
ready for us.
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that bridge was crossed too.
Yep.
Do
So,
you want to make you sweat some more? You can ask him some more questions.
You could, I'll talk. You guys will be here till midnight.
You might be here that long anyway.
Or 2 in the morning.
there's no more questions. Anyone can do a motion if they'd like. If they have more questions, feel free.
I love questions. If you guys, I can talk on this for like 3 hours if you guys need to.
Well, I mean, you brought the baby, how,
Take your time.
She's having a blast.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant application for the 20 to 25,000, depending on if we formally approve that.
I'll second it.
Sure. With terms as dictated by me and Kip, so we'll have to write it
Yeah,
up.
let's not get that confused.
Yeah. So first by Manthe for 20 or 25,000, depending on further approval of the program itself, with
Did you
terms
guys
to be
approve
determined.
Just for 25, yeah.
25? Okay.
Yeah, but it's a formality. We have to vote on it. It's not.
Do we have to vote on it anyway?
Is there a second?
No,
Yeah,
I did.
I know.
Yep.
the grant program for this next year, we have to vote on.
Allen,
Yes.
Miller,
Yep.
Shevitz,
Let's,
Minders,
Yes.
Reuter,
Yes.
Mandy.
Yes.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll be in touch soon, but thank you for coming and thank you both for your service. We
Yeah, thank
appreciate it.
you.
Yes, thank
You don't get to leave. Now you have to
No.
stay
Thank you, guys.
till the end or you don't get a check.
Yeah, you gotta stay till midnight.
You can leave them here.
You're a part of the organization. You gotta stay. Boy, that would cut down on applications quickly if you had to stay at the meeting.
You don't know how long we've waited at the VA for stuff.
We can't,
Yeah.
we can outweigh anything. Right.
Interested in moving to Shannon, we can use a couple of new board members.
Right.
All right.
I say he's happy as a clam.
Our response time will be left.
Well, thank you, guys. You do not have to stick around for any more of the meeting.
Allison's gone.
Allison, you know, number 6, you could be here for number 6, Allison, if you wanted to.
I could probably.
We could make number 6 number 2.
Just email me.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank
you.
Thanks, guys.
What is number 6? Okay.
Yeah. All right, next we're gonna move on to the solar grant discussion in the PPA. Number 2 got changed because, believe it or not, once you get a grant, there's a lot of work to make sure you actually get the grant. So we're not quite ready to approve any bids at this point. So a few months ago, when I contacted the board the first time, we were internally approved for the grant. We are now officially approved from the grant on the state level, but we're still waiting for federal approval. And there's a lot of permits that I've been working on to make sure that all works out, but we're not quite there yet. But
Butch and I won't be waiting by the mailbox, will we?
so that's the update on number 2. I just put it on in case anyone had any questions. Right now, I'm working on this historical preservation something or another through the state to make sure that it's not going to upset anything of historical value.
In the cornfield it's in?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, that is a requirement. Also reached out to ComEd for interconnection and
I don't know, that burn pile is pretty sentimental over there.
yeah.
I don't see the burn pile.
But
We'll send an archaeologist probably in December when there's a foot of snow on the ground. And send a bill and say they have to come back again. when it's
You know, come to think of it, there's no electricity out there, is there?
I'm not joking.
well, we'll see if they make it out here or not. But we do have Kent Krause, who is from Eagle Point Solar, who they are the lowest bid when we do get around to approving it, so long as the bids stay within specifications, which is another thing we're holding out on. Kent also helped me to submit the actual grant package himself. So he's here tonight to talk about the PPA, which is something I brought up at the last meeting. Essentially, if we're already doing one project, and I'm not looking for formal approval tonight, I'd be looking for approval at the same time we would approve the other project formally, but Ken's here to answer questions on the PPA and also talk numbers, so. Thank you very much.
This will be a little easier on you guys. You don't have to twist your head around and look at the monitor.
I do.
Thank you.
I feel like maybe I should have brought a baby too. Because like that goes over.
No,
real
that's
well.
way more interesting than names. Sorry.
And in the interest of time, I know you got a lot on the agenda here, so I won't take up a lot of time. But as Ryan mentioned, we had talked originally when the original RFP came out last fall. It was for a cash purchase on the water treatment plant and the water tower meter, looking for a cash purchase and a PPA. And then that kind of got sidelined, and then things came back when the grant became available and started going down the path of, okay, could we do a cash purchase on the wastewater treatment plant with this grant? And then looking back at the water tower meter, is there a way to get solar there to lower costs that doesn't cost the city any out-of-pocket dollars? So really tonight, I just wanted to talk briefly about a solar PPA, what it is, how it works. We ran some preliminary numbers from the initial RFP, so we have some numbers to look at to see what that would look like from a savings standpoint to the village. And then really answer any questions. And again, these are preliminary numbers. We haven't looked at the electrical infrastructure or anything like that, but we're usually in the ballpark. So this will give you kind of an idea. So in the folders on the left side panel, there's this document here, it's a PPA at a glance. So this really just talks about what a PPA is. So a PPA stands for a power purchase agreement. And essentially the way that program works is there's an outside investor. That investor pays for the construction of the array. They own the array, they maintain the array, they insure the array. And they simply just enter into a contract with the village where the village agrees to buy the energy that's being produced by that array at a rate lower than what the utility is charging today. So there's no out-of-pocket expense to the village at all. It's simply changing who you're sending your dollars to. Right now, you're sending them to ComEd at a particular rate. That rate goes up at an uncontrollable rate. None of us have any say into how ComEd raises its rates. There's some governance on that, but it seems, as we've seen certainly in recent years, that seems to be going up at quite the clip. So rather than sending a check to ComEd, which you would still do, you're still part of the infrastructure and everything, so there is a bill that would come from ComEd. But the energy that's produced on the array, a check would just go to the investor. The nice thing about a power purchase agreement is, one, for it to make sense, it has to be lower than what you're paying ComEd. So the starting rate would have to be lower than that. The other thing is, we know that ComEd and all of the utilities rates are going up and up. And over the last 2 years, they've gone up at almost record rates. A big part of that is if you look over the last 15 years, the load that the utilities are servicing was pretty flat. Up until the last couple of years, there was not much load growth. The utilities were able to produce as much energy as their customers needed. They were selling it to other states. There wasn't a capacity problem or a production problem. Within the last 2 years, we've seen a big uptick in load growth. And a big part of that is we've all heard of the AI data centers. These are incredible consumers of energy, along with electric vehicles continue to put more load. All of us are more automated than we ever have been with battery powered devices versus where we're plugging into a wall. Those things are all adding to the growth of demand on the utilities. So we're seeing those rates going up. Historically, rates have gone up at about, the national average was 3.78% per year on average. Over the last 2 years, I've done a number of audits for customers of mine, and those rates have gone up anywhere from, I think the lowest was 8.9% over the last couple of years. The highest was 12.8%. So big jump. All of the industry analysts are predicting that rates will continue to rise at somewhere between 8 and 12%, which is what I'm seeing for the foreseeable future. So almost, 2 to 3 times what our rates have gone up historically. So the problem with the utility required to, so the contract works that it's 25 years long. Anytime after year 7, if you wanted to purchase the array, you can do that. And it's a discounted cash flow method for the buyout rates. So we have the buyout rates listed for a number of sample years. And then if you say, hey, if we wanted to buy it out in year 13, what would that look like? Simple calculation that we can run and say, this is what that buyout looks like. But if you carried it for the full 25 years, you have three options at the end of the 25 years. Option one is you can extend the contract 5 more years under the same terms. Option two is you can buy the array at that point, and that is purchased at fair market value, which right now the IRS accepts 5% of the contract price as the purchase price. Option three is you can call up the investor and say, hey, thanks, we've enjoyed the savings. We don't want this thing anymore. Come down, get your equipment. It's TMY3 is the how it's tagged, but TMY3 weather station that looks at the last 25 years of weather, and then that predicts how many sunny days we'll have, how many cloudy days we'll have, how many snow cover days we'll have. That all gets baked into that production. So when we're looking out 25 years and trying to say, well, how much is this thing going to produce? We take all of those factors into account. Another thing to keep in mind is the equipment itself. So the solar modules that we have at least initially spec'd out have a 30-year production warranty. And when I say production warranty, what that means is they come off the line producing at, let's say, 100%. They do degrade over time. So they will oxidize, they'll start losing some of their effectiveness over time. That 30-year production warranty warrants against that degrading faster than roughly 0.5% per year. So look out 30 years here, and it's still producing at 85%, guaranteed. The other thing is it has a 30-year workmanship warranty as well. So against any manufacturer defect there. So the modules themselves, if you think about from a PPA standpoint, you're in a contract, let's say you let it go 25 years, at the end of 25 years, you still have 5 years worth, the modules are still under warranty. They have a life expectancy of 45 plus years. So the modules also very, very durable. They're hail resistant, ammonia resistant. There's videos of these things taking a 1-inch hailstone out of an air rifle at over 200 miles an hour with no damage to the panels. So they hold up very, very well. Certainly not indestructible. They, you get, I've got installations around baseball fields and things like that. Baseball hits it at the right angle, it can crack them, those types of things. But for the most part, these things do hold up really, really well. So
the 801,000 number, that's the projected savings over a 25-year total at 8% increase per year.
Correct. So if you look at this sheet on the left side there, this kind of goes through everything, and I'll just real quickly kind of run through that top line there. So right now, the energy rate, so what you're paying currently is 9.06 cents per kilowatt hour. The current usage out there is 189,119. Let me back up to the current energy rate. As you go down that column, you'll see that number's going up. That's going up at that predicted 8% per year. That's the expected utility increase. Current usage, we keep that the same. Looking out into the future, we just don't have any data to tell us it's going to go up or down, so we keep that the same. And then the simple math carries over. That's your total energy charges. There's no demand rate on this meter, so those are your utility charges. Under the solar array column, that kilowatt hour produced 189,884. So producing slightly more than what was used last year from that meter. If you go down that column, you'll notice that number goes down. So we automatically take 0.5% off per year on our production, because we know that if it's more than that, the manufacturer replaces that panel or panels that are not producing. So we drop that 0.5% per year. The PPA rate, this is what you would pay the investor. So 4.26 cents per kilowatt hour. Carry that over, your total energy costs, 8,091. You wouldn't be buying any energy that first year from the utility. So you have your combined energy costs and your yearly savings, that first year savings. And then as you go down that, you can see down in year 25 here, we have a total savings of a little over $800,000. At the end of that time, like I said, you have three options. Option one, extend it for 5 years under the same terms. Option two, buy it outright for 5% of the original contract price. Or option three, tell the investor to come pick up their stuff and take it away. I'll mention one
By
more.
this math, in 2049, there will be no one to be able to afford to live in the state of Illinois, just so you know. At 50 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah, and if you think
There's
that's
no
high,
way those, I mean, don't misunderstand. I realize those are the numbers today, but those aren't anywhere
Well,
close.
25 years ago when it was
They're great.
1.5 cents a kilowatt, people thought you wouldn't be able to live at 10 cents a kilowatt either.
I get it, but at some point it will have to change. I mean,
No, we just keep raising our minimum wage.
So just as Ken said, the last 3 years, I just looked at, I mean, you know numbers better than I do, but the last 3 years, the average increase in Illinois has been over 10%. But even if you look over the last 10, it's still over 5% for the last 10 years. So if you took this 8% number and
That's what
took it down to
happens when you put
4%
regular
increase per
prices.
year, the number I still got is still nearly $400,000 in electrical cost saving, even if you half the estimate here. So now one thing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is the energy savings. There still would be additional costs on our, additional charges for just ComEd.
no, this is just the cost of electricity, the cost of
Oh,
energy.
okay.
So you will still have a meter fee. Any fixed fees that are on the bill today will stay, that you'll still get that from ComEd. You'll still end up paying to be connected to the grid. You're still going to be taking energy from ComEd when the array, so at night when the array doesn't produce, you're gonna be pulling from ComEd. So
That is accounted for here, though, the energy that we would pull.
Yes,
Yes, we pretty much pump water at night.
the ComEd charges are, just the energy charges on it, not the fixed fees. So just,
There's other fees when you look
Yeah,
at your
no, I
ComEd. Yeah,
understand
okay.
that.
So,
So does this come with like, does it have like any storage capacity to like store? Cause like you said, for at night, we do a lot of pumping and stuff, like Kyle just mentioned. So how does that work?
so under ComEd, ComEd has what's called, net metering. And what net metering means is if you produce more than you consume at any given time, that overproduction goes back to ComEd and ComEd will credit you for the full value of that kilowatt hour. They hold that on account. Those kilowatt hours build up, and then at night, when you're buying energy from ComEd, you're building up credit there. Also, if you look at the production, this is how the array is intended to produce or expected to produce through the course of the year. Winter months, much lower production, so our sun's lower in the sky. We're gonna have snow on this stuff at times, and in the summer, it's gonna overproduce. So on a monthly basis, if you look here, anytime that orange is above the gray bar, we're producing more than we need. That goes back to ComEd, carries forward, and then in the fall and winter months, we have a shortfall here. So we have this overproduction, that covers the shortfall months. And then in April, they do what's called a true up. And what that means is they look and they see, do you have any credits left on account for the year? If so, they wipe that slate clean and then that process starts over again. So there's no sense in building it bigger than you need to, because at the end of the year, if you have a bunch of credits, ComEd says, thank you very much, and they take those. So we try to build it around that 100% mark, realizing again that the last 12 months doesn't necessarily 100% predict the next 12 months, but we try to make that as close as we can. That makes sense.
any other questions how a PPA works? The numbers here, again, I'm not looking for anything tonight myself, just waiting to see what happens with the wastewater plant as well.
Wouldn't we be better off just to upsize the wastewater treatment plant?
The wastewater, what do you mean upside? They're already producing 100%.
Well, it's 100% of that meter, but it's not 100% of our ComEd bill.
Correct. And ComEd will only allow you to offset a meter where the array resides or an adjacent owned property. So, which is unfortunate because a lot of places say, I've got this big open field here. It'd be great if I could build this big array and just pump the energy in and offset these 5 meters that we've got. Unfortunately, the utility doesn't allow that.
That's not shocking.
Well, they are in business to make money, so they don't necessarily make it.
They make a lot of it.
It totally helps when the deck is stacked.
It's good to be a monopoly. We'll just say that.
Well, it's good to be a monopoly and put a couple of nuclear plants to sleep and raise the rate.
And the big thing, the wastewater plant, the number is fixed because we submitted the grant at a fixed amount. The bids are at a fixed amount, so we can't just start tinkering with those numbers down there, even if we could.
And again, like I said, with the PPA, the nice thing is it doesn't cost the village anything up front. It doesn't have to cost the village anything out of pocket at all if you choose not to, but it does give you options. So let's say, for example, you said, okay, I want to go down the path of a PPA, but I want to buy this thing in 10 years. Well, you can say, well, what's the 10-year buyout? Let's budget 10% of that a year. And in year 10, you just make that capital purchase then. So you're not forced to come up with the money up front and figure out how you're going to pay it. You budget for it, and then you have that capital expenditure down the road. The other thing is you're never committing to buying it either. So if you did do that, and I have a number of small communities that do that, they say, our plan is to buy it out in year 10. In year 8, something happens, right? You have a building that needs a new roof. You have some unexpected expense.
Every month.
You can take the dollars that you had budgeted for the array and say, I'm just going to spend it over here and I'm going to buy the array in year 15, or I'm not going to buy it at all. So it gives you options. It lowers the risk because you're not putting any dollars out there up front. It's a good thing for small communities. We've been in business since 2010. We're based out of Iowa. And one of our first bigger installations was the city of Dubuque under a PPA. The utility in Iowa, Alliant Energy, sued us and said, you can't do that. We're the utility. You can't sell energy. That's our job. So we fought that lawsuit, went to the Iowa Supreme Court. They ruled in our favor, making PPAs legal in the state of Iowa. PPAs were already legal in the state of Illinois. But we've done, I want to say it's about 175 arrays under the PPA format between Iowa and Illinois.
I'm sure that did ruffle some feathers out of my.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Yeah, we're currently embroiled in a lawsuit in Wisconsin with We Energies for the same reasons. And that's been
You can't
it's going
take our
on 7
money.
years.
That's our money.
Now, I will say we're at a unique situation right now with the utilities because the load is growing faster than they can add capacity. So my gut tells me the utilities are going to start working with people because all of this stuff here, even though they're giving you full retail credit for that overproduction tends to happen when most energy is being consumed in those summer months. So you're sending them energy back that they're paying you 9 cents a kilowatt hour. But if they don't have that, they have to buy it on the open market. And that might be 28, 32 cents a kilowatt hour. They're paying a premium and then they're selling it at a loss because they don't have the capacity right now. So they can only build capacity so fast. So I have a feeling for some period of time, they're going to warm up to the idea of demand generation and being able to, utilize that overproduction. In fact, in the state of Illinois, legislation just recently passed. They're looking at giving rebates to battery installations under an agreement that when they really need the energy, they can tap into your battery and take that energy. But they have to, they give you a rebate up front and then they pay you a certain amount to access that battery at the time of need. So they are starting to do things already to say, hey, you've got energy, I need energy. Let's see if we can make a deal that makes sense. So, but I'm kind of getting off topic here, and I know you've got a lot on the agenda. So any other questions? Again, really, the next step in our process is we would need to do a site assessment. Like I said, we'd look at the electrical infrastructure out at the water tower. We would do an aerial analysis with a drone. We'd run shade studies. We would build the same reports, but they would be kind of final construction numbers. And we don't charge for the site assessment. All it's really so we know, how to estimate this correctly. So, again, any other questions for me?
And I'll be in contact with you.
Sure.
Like we have been.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. And, with the grant too, just as you find things out, let me know, or if you need more information from us.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
They're always asking for stuff, so we'll get through it.
It's a process, but, good things can come out the other side. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
All right. Market Street project. Let's talk about spending money now.
What have we been talking about?
Saving money.
Saving money. So Darren's numbers from today, he puts at a 875,000 plus costs and overages, I suppose.
And that's for just the water main project.
And that's for both.
Oh, that's for the water and the sewer?
Yep.
Okay.
That's both Market Street projects?
Both Market Street projects, $875,000.
Well, that's a little bit better. I thought it was just for the water.
Yeah, I was just saying, I thought we just got screwed because,
So talked to the bank and their numbers, I asked for 850. That was my guess at the time. So it's a little under the total cost, which we can change, of course, but 850,000 over a 30-year period is an annual payment amount of 52,000 and some change. I'll have to do the math on how much we raised rates, but it was $10. Was it 10?
So wanted to talk a little bit about that. That's why Nicole asked me to be here. So when we raised the rates the last time, it was not based on what this future project may or may not cost. Because if you can remember, at that time, we were under the impression that we would be fully grant funded, or that was the hope. So the last increase was really to just get us so that we are running in the black. If you guys can remember 2 or 3 years ago, we literally were only a couple $1,000s in the black. So one of the things, again, that I was trying to teach Nicole or to learn is in the state of Illinois, water and sewer systems have to be run as a for-profit business, i.e. you have to show a profit. If you are continually showing up in the red, the state of Illinois can actually come in and take over your system, and then you are at their mercy as to what they're going to charge and how they're going to go about running it. So really important to stay in the black. So unfortunately, the last increase that we did, we are not accumulating. If you look at just the last year's audit, we did see a little bit of an increase in water and sewer versus the year before. So in other words, there might be a little bit of money that's left over. But as we know, the water leak that was just mentioned, because we still have these ongoing issues with our water and sewer system, we are spending more to maintain that system prior to any of these projects coming into place. So Nicole and I actually did some math, and I believe by adding another 50 to, we were figuring on 50,000. So again, remember these were just estimates, but I wanted to be able to give you guys a ballpark. We based it on active customers of 378 customers, and we would need to raise rate $12 per customer per month to cover a payment of 52 or 53,000. We were basing that on 50,000.
So I just have a question here. So the last audit, we raised rates in February, right? That's what the first month it was increased. So the last audit would have only captured a few months of that increase.
That is correct.
So, I look at this month's bill and water and sewer went up $9,000. That's how much went up in our balance.
Yep.
So, that increase over a year is $108,000. which is much less than the 52,000 payment amount.
Right.
Because I'll just say that my understanding is the rate we raised in February was to cover this project. That's my understanding, right?
That's the way I understood it.
Well, and I'm just confused about that because back then we had no idea what the project was gonna cost or how much it was gonna cost
We were
us.
figuring it was
We
gonna
were
cost $1
figuring it
million.
was gonna be grant funded, right? But,
No, we were preparing for the worst.
We
okay,
thought it was gonna be $1 million, but we also thought we'd get a loan, bare minimum a loan from the EPA. As you can see, they
which
have
we did not.
done their level best to let us down again.
I'll let you know that they are resubmitting for next year's bypass fund since this project would not be started until next year. But
Can we resubmit to get an actual loan or at bare minimum a loan, if not a grant?
So what we were looking at, Ryan, rather than the monthly jump, what the figures we were looking at is water and sewer total at the end of the fiscal year from last year versus this year.
right,
Now granted, I guess we did not take into account the fact that if
it
it
would
was
only cover 2 months.
Right.
So because here's the quick,
But actually, it
370,
was- we bill a month behind, so that increase would have been January, February, March, and April. Because April 30th is our year end.
so 378 active customers right now. We raised rates $10, is that correct?
That's 11.
It was $11.
It was $11,
But the
but
one was for
$1
garbage.
was for garbage.
Yeah.
All right, so
Correct.
$10 for this times 12 is 45.3 is what we, I guess, increased with our $10, 45.3 in total, which 3 or 4 months would have been captured in the year to year. Because the purpose of that $10 was
For this.
was
okay.
for this specifically. And that was specifically just for the water main. Now we have this other project we kind of thrown into it.
And
So,
is
so the water main, I think, is covered by that increase.
this solar cost to us going to be rolled in as well
So
to the
the,
loan or?
it is not, well,
Okay.
we can discuss that, I suppose. They did give us numbers if we wanted to do a $150,000 loan for that over 15 years. My thought it's better just to pay that up front if we can. Because that, our annual payment amount for 15 years is gonna just take away all our savings and then we're only getting 10 years of savings instead. Whereas if we paid it all up front, we see higher savings because we're not paying that interest rate then.
Erica did also make a reminder, which I don't think it's really gonna affect water and sewer because property taxes numbers. So this next audit is gonna look like we've got a lot of money. And that's because the county was holding all of our tax dollars because we were behind on audits. So they released 2 years worth of taxes in 1 year. So I just kind of want to throw that out there just in general, when you guys are looking at the general health of those numbers. That is a good reason why we are seeing
Is that
such
why
an
we got
increase.
$90,000 in total this month,
Yes.
this new increase? It looks healthy. I mean, these
Yes.
accounts are healthy.
Yeah, but the
They've never been.
$90,000 is from taxes, not from the water and sewer fund. We're talking about two different
Correct.
things.
I guess can you show me?
Yeah, I mean, the water and sewer
But
went
I
up,
mean,
well, the water and sewer went up 9,000.
How does that
1,000.
PPO work with the grant?
How does what?
That you were just talking about the PPO work with the grant that we're receiving? And then some investor.
The
was saying it was different.
PPP is two
Okay.
separate
Yeah,
things.
it's completely different.
Yes.
So we essentially wouldn't have any additional out-of-pocket costs for the PPP. And we would have the loan costs for the project at the sewers plant.
Loan costs or pay it up front, whichever you
Or,
prefer.
yeah,
But yeah, the PPP is just, we're already doing one solar project. This is another one they can do at the same time, which will hopefully bring our ROI down. I mean, I think the estimate for the ROI just on the wastewater plant is around 5 years. I think I talked about 7 or 8 at that meeting. Just, I like being more conservative than aggressive, where this project will bring it down, I would guess, to 5 years if we also get the PPA. So then we have 20 years of savings on both solar plants.
so are you proposing using the money that we stuck into the CD to fund this? Is that what, or are you just the stuff that's still in the general fund?
Well, yeah, I mean, the solar, it could be either or, I suppose, and we can use some of the water and sewer as well, because this is for water and sewer. The board hasn't decided how we're going to fund the 128,000. I think it makes more sense to pay it up front because when I'm looking at these numbers, I mean, the interest rate, $7,000 a year the first year, that's eating up a lot of our savings for
What was the loan amount that you said annual payment for the water system, or for the water main and the sewer system?
For the two,
Sorry,
yeah, I know, it's not
Turn
working.
around. Sit on
52,
that side.
52.7 for $850.
Okay, and with the increase that we have, that gives us roughly about $56,000.
The increase we did was 45.3
45.
because we were talking about specifically just the water main project and we estimated that was going to be around 650 if we funded it ourselves. So it did not include the sewer project.
Okay.
So that's where this,
So you'd be missing it by $12,000.
Denise.
missing
what
it
is
by
our
8.
Annual, is it annual or biannual payment for the last water project?
December's our last water project, 180,000.
A year or
A year.
twice a year?
So 90,000 every 6 months.
And that has its own account. We can't touch. It's at the bottom. It's
Yes.
completely separate. That's in the,
Because that was an EPA
Yeah,
loan,
that's
it
the
had to be set
repayment
up that
one.
way.
You
So
know, I
those funds are not
was
commingled.
here when we
Those
did
are
it.
kept separate specifically for those payments.
But if you look at our numbers, we have nearly $500,000 between unless I'm reading it completely incorrectly, between repayment, O&M, and the water and sewer fund. Would that be fair?
well, the repayment fund we can't touch, so I wouldn't even
No,
look at that now.
I understand you can't touch it, but it's still there.
It is still there. So we're just shy of 500 in O&M repayment in the water and sewer fund.
Repayment fund,
378, so it's a little under 400,000.
that amount was, so we had to have how much of that loan in that bucket? Like
You have to show 2
Right,
years
2 years.
of
So we
payment.
have
So you
that
have
in
to have
there.
Yeah, we have
a
north of
minimum
We have
of
no debt. So
360,000.
why can we not touch the difference?
Because
I'm
when we,
just, so I know.
Yeah.
right, so originally when we set it up, they started already making these transfers and doing this. Like we found, that project got delayed. So they had already started inputting funds before we ever had a payment due, is why the extra is there.
Mhm.
I guess you could check with the EPA. It would be the EPA that would govern
Right,
that
if
as to whether those funds could be
if we
moved
can
or
leave
changed.
200,000 in there
Yeah,
to
there's
meet
no
the
reason
standard of the
They shouldn't
2-year
be able to hold the
payment,
money hostage.
then
As
we
long
should be
as
able
we're
to
following
touch
their
It's
it.
in our bank account. It's not like they have.
It's
Well, no, but
ours,
we're
right.
required by law to have
Not
it
to
there.
touch
I
it
get
except
that.
for the two
Right.
payments.
Yeah.
No, I
Right.
totally get what she's
Yes.
saying, but I also don't think they can keep the extra, keep
Well,
keep
we
it
can
on.
Make us keep the extra, I guess that would be.
We could
what
look
we
into
accrue to
it.
the
I mean-
EPA.
I mean, that would make sense, and then that's offsetting what we have up to the bills
Uh-huh.
each month, adding that to what we just did. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
You are following me.
We're
I-
borrowing money and we have a shitload in the bank we're not getting credit for.
And the big
Right.
thing is, we raised rates in February, but this project wouldn't start until next year, so we also have 1 year of this $10 increase
But all this
as
extra
well.
money that we've been
This-
putting into this bucket that we don't need to, because we are meeting the 2-year standard that they want in there, that all would go towards this then.
The money that's in here was generated by billing 2 years before the plant ever went
Right.
online.
Correct.
So I guess we need to find that out with the EPA as far as what that looks like. We have our 2-year standard in there of the 200,000 or whatever it needs to be. The rest we should be able to utilize.
We should be, don't misunderstand, I think our goal should be to keep exactly what they want plus 1 penny in there and then
Well, yeah.
keeping the rest, no offense. But
We'll look into it.
My thought on it, Ryan, is I think that we need to do a deep dive on what we think we have coming up, because ideally, with what interest rates are and everything, we would want to not borrow money at this point if we don't have to. But we also don't want to pull all of our reserves in case there's things in our 5-year plan that we know are coming up, and we don't want to completely deplete all of our cash options at the same time. So that's why I was looking at that repayment, and then if we paid 75,000 of the 150 out of our cash reserves and took out a loan for the second half of it instead of paying all of it, and that way we still kind of splitting the baby in a way to where we're still getting higher returns quicker but not completely depleting all of our cash reserves at the same time.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
We also have the CD, we do have a water and sewer CD of 100,000 as well, so that would be
Which is-
another.
All right,
Getting 3.1.
yeah.
Also, just to go back to those numbers, just to make sure, when we're looking at O&M and repayment, we have 378,000. That 2 years worth would be 360,000 that you would be required, even if they said, yes, the extra can be moved.
It's only like
It's like
18,000.
18,000. Now granted, we don't
Yeah, you
have
can't
another
look at the-
payment now till December, we just
Right.
paid June. So you will have accumulated more, so by December, when we make that payment, there would be more there, but I'm just saying, it's not as maybe as large of a number
Yeah.
as what it,
Yeah, you can't look at the
Right.
repayment of the
Years.
254,000 and say, well, we only pay 109 or 180,000, so we have, oh my God, we have $65,000. That's not what it is.
No.
correct.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
just what
realize
I'm
you have
trying
to
to
generate
point
money
out.
for the next payment. That, I do understand that, yes.
Yeah, so it's only probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000.
Still more than needs to be in there.
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
no doubt, yeah.
and I don't know, with the EPA being that we've never missed a payment, we've never been late on a payment, is that number more flexible? We
Is it
know that we
required,
Right,
raised
is that like
is it
double
required to be
loan?
there after almost a decade?
Yeah, that I don't know.
How much
So I
longer
guess
is the
those
term
would be
on
some
that?
questions.
Long
Oh,
ass
long
time.
30 years.
It's 30
It's a
years.
30-year term.
We're always there to help.
30 years from
Well, and we can always
2019.
make probably maybe an extra payment, instead of paying
Sounds right.
90,000, we can pay 95 or whatever if we have extra to try and pay that down faster too.
Yeah, except that.
Is that allowed in
It's
the
pretty
only-
low interest.
Yes.
I was just gonna say.
Yes, no,
One-
you can repay it early, but we'd be stupid to repay it
That's
early
one at
when-
nine.
because you're borrowing, today we'd be
Yeah.
borrowing money at double what
We'd
we're.
be better off putting that money in the 3.24%
Yes.
CD. there
Yes,
than-
you would literally-
Yeah.
There's something we can ask. Are we allowed to put that money in a CD?
No, can't earn money on it. That I do
Really?
know, right.
That's sad.
That is actually really a dumb thing to happen.
Yeah,
That you
really.
can't make money off the
Yes.
money, that is.
That you're required by law
Yeah,
to
like
have.
we literally cannot legally accept interest on that money.
That's really dumb.
Wow.
I'm
We didn't have much choice on that.
No, I,
not saying it's a dumb move, I'm saying that that's a
It
dumb
would cover the interest that
stipulation.
we have
Yeah.
to pay every year, so that.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
So I guess the big thing is, the way I see it, we're probably about $8,000 or so off from what we raised. And we'll know more because we'll have our annual audit next April again. So we'll know exactly how much we increased it. And we'll look at water rates again next year, of course, if there is a discrepancy. But this project isn't going to get started until next summer. I mean, we'll have to approve it before then, so Fairground can put it out for bid. Their recommendation is to approve the project in November or December, or it could be done now, but not put it out for bids until the winter, to hopefully have some more competitive bids come in. But the project would not start until next summer. And maybe we'll get lucky and bypass funds come through, but I think we're done waiting on
Yeah.
luck and planning on just paying it
I might win the
ourselves.
lottery tomorrow too.
Yeah, you might.
And you'll donate all to Shannon. won't you?
Yeah, yeah.
The big thing is there is a little bit of difference between what we budgeted at $10 and the $53,000 payment because we are adding the sewer project into this. So there would have to be an increase to cover it or otherwise subsidize it.
if we have another year, we can't go back through the grant process?
Well, they are submitting for bypass funds, which
No, I mean an actual thing that might happen, like grants or a loan or all of the above.
You mean the same program that we've been denied 2 years in a row for, that one?
We got it once. And it made all the difference. Without that loan, we'd have never been able to buy the water treatment facility we have. By the way, we have to spend money on.
well, those bypass funds are it's just a loan. I mean, it's a loan at 1%. It's not a grant in the way
No, I
to give us
understand.
money.
But I mean, are they going through
But that's what it is. It's try to get a loan through the IEPA again.
the leftover money? I mean, are they going,
25.
my question is, are they going after the piece of the pie before bypass?
My understanding is because we were essentially right at the line, like we were one of the next few to be funded if funds fell through, they're going for that again instead.
Okay.
And I don't know why you can't submit for both. I just talked to Fairgraham today and they said that's what they were going after again. So they must think that is that's the best chance for us. Ultimately, we can,
And maybe it being $1 million, maybe it'll actually spark their interest this time.
ultimately, we can approve the project today because we're ultimately going to have to, or we can wait to see if rates change significantly in the next 4 months. But Fairgraham suggests putting it out for bid over the winter. These two projects.
This actually, Denise, this is off topic, but this actually doesn't cover the CDs, does it?
Yeah, it's on
Off to the right,
outside.
they're off to the right, so
I'm
it's not
sorry, thank
included in
you.
those numbers, right?
Yeah, so there's another 200,000 and some change not reflected.
Correct.
So your plan is to have the solar project funded by which fund, the water and sewer?
That's something we have to talk about when we finally can approve it. The board hasn't decided how we're going to fund that. We can fund it outright. We can fund it by water and sewer. We can do it over both. We can do a loan, whatever makes the most sense for this board. But 128,000 is our expected contribution, though there will be month-to-month funds since we fund it up front
I
and
was
then
just
get
gonna say, we have to
refunded.
fund it up.
So
front
there's
and
gonna be-
reimburse it, yeah.
I imagine we use the line of credit through a bank at that point. So there would be some interest on that.
In
Well-
that proposal that Fairgraham gave you, what's the contingency that they have in there? As Lord knows, there will be overages.
Was
They
the
have
state of
130.
Illinois involved? No.
They have 130,000.
Okay, so about 15%-ish. That might be okay.
And when you're paid on the gross, that's what you do. Remind me again, what did you just say the cost of the solar project was?
128 plus any month to month.
We'd be better off to throw one of our CDs at it instead of borrowing the money.
I think it would produce more savings in the
Well, yeah, because the interest rate right now is gonna be
It was stupid.
stupid and we're only, I mean, it'd be better for us, we'd save probably 3% by taking it out of the CD and not.
You'd be
paying
better off to
interest.
throw one CD at it, pay the rest out of the general fund.
I don't know if you can take it out of the general fund if it's for the water and sewer. Because
wouldn't want to.
100% of the, can you?
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah, because 100% of that cost is
General,
being
general fund
supposedly
was the wrong
saved.
name. O&M is what it should have been.
Okay, sorry. Very good.
And that would, I think that makes a lot of sense when we're looking at funding it. But that's for next month, hopefully.
Yeah.
What do we want to do on these two projects?
What do you mean, what do we want to do? Like we have
I
a
was
choice?
just gonna say, do we have much of a choice?
Well,
What's the alternative option? We've been presented with one.
yeah, I mean, that's true. It's just when,
Everybody drill a well and buy a septic tank.
Yeah.
it's just when you want to approve it and when you want to lock in the rate, I suppose.
Do we know a timeline of when IDOT has scheduled the highway construction yet?
Couple years.
Yeah, they got pushed back a year, I
They got
believe.
pushed back.
So we're in
2028.
28 now.
28 now?
Yeah, so we have time next year to do both of these on our end.
Okay.
Either that or you just don't do it at all.
And then we tear up the nice new road every time it breaks down, or, breaks.
At some point, this was a good idea. Anyway, sorry.
So do we want to approve the project tonight, put it out for bids in the winter at Fairgraham's suggestion, and then whenever we need the money, we'll get into the loan then? Is that the plan?
I'd say wait, another option may turn up.
This is gonna sound terrible and not to contradict, but why wait till next year? It's not like it's gonna get cheaper.
Well, put it out for bids. They said that all contractors have so much work right now that maybe over the winter when they're a little slower, the bids might be less to reflect that.
The only thing that may go down would be the interest rate, but I don't see that coming down anytime in the next 90 days, so. if we
I don't
have to
see it
make a
coming
decision,
down.
it's
Definitely not
not-
short term.
I don't see it coming down in the next 2 years.
Well, I mean, I'm more hopeful than that, but definitely not in the next 90 days.
Well,
We
the
have to
sewer
be-
project, we have to do it anyway, and the fire hydrant moving, so, I mean, no matter what, that has to be done.
Everything has to be done.
Right.
So,
That's what I'm saying is, I mean,
Figure out how you're gonna pay for it later, and you're gonna have to.
we can approve the project now, put it out for bid over the winter, like Fairgram said, and we can go into a loan next year once we finalize rates and get some hard numbers.
Someone will borrow us the money.
Yeah. That's the plan. I'll take a motion.
I move. I fucking hate it, but I move
What are you moving?
to go home. No, I'm sorry. I move we put the water and sewer project for Market Street, both projects, in the lap of Fairgram to put out for bids for construction in 2027, summer of 27, I'm sorry.
Projected cost of $875,000.
That's between you and Jesus, buddy.
Second.
I don't see that we have a choice.
For 875,000.
Like I said, waiting to be presented with an alternative option, but it's just, there's none.
Hey, if the alternative comes up, we can rescind this in about that fast.
That's right. It's just getting started. If something happens overnight, if you win the lottery, we can.
It will be different, just so you're aware of it.
All right, roll call.
Allen,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
Shevitz.
Yeah.
Minders,
Yes,
Reuter,
Yes.
Manthe.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right.
Steve, I'm not a fan of it either, but I don't see you have a choice.
I'm looking at line pulling instead of digging up the trench from here to Casey's and $1 million.
Problem is, they don't want it under the road anymore.
It isn't under the road now, is it?
Yeah.
Just a cross piece.
It's under the white stripe.
Well,
The part we're digging up over here is under the white stripe of the road. Today, we're being told we have to move that line.
Yeah,
I don't see that it's that many years down the road before they start saying, you gotta do something over here because we're not gonna let you close our road anymore. I wish there was something different. I really do.
what about Badger Street? That was a good idea, I thought.
It was a good idea till we got the EPA involved.
Well, that and we already paid Fairgram to design. Or, you know,
So already
Market
out
Street.
They,
60,000.
they don't like the long runs of the services for the individual households. They like very little of that plan, I'll be honest with you.
You're already in at 60,000. You know, redesign it to be another 60. You know.
I think there's other options can be explored.
Can always get
Line-
brought back up. This isn't moving anytime soon, so.
Steve, I think the line pulling thing is a thing for the sewer. I think that's something we need, the lining of the sewer lines, I think that's something we need to look into, but I don't see how we're gonna get away from doing what we gotta do here.
All right, number 6.
Dig up.
Sorry. Steve, you want to say something else? I
No,
didn't
I'll
mean to
see
cut
what,
you off.
I'll do some calling and see what I can come up with something a little different.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. So even, I mean, even when we put out for
Maybe they
bid,
can
we have to
lower it
approve
the
it,
whole way.
so.
I'll have to ask.
All right, agenda item number 6, the review of the grant loan program. So we approved this last year, $25,000 in grant money for the village. We have received, let's see, how many official applications have we received? 1, 2, 3. There's been 3 or 4, and I've had another 3 or 4 people reach out. So throughout the year, we've had about 7 or 8 people interested in using it. If the Heroes Last Hope application goes through, we will have utilized all of our year 1 grant money.
Didn't it just go through?
Well, they have to approve the contract terms that I send them, which won't be surprising, but as long as they accept that, it will go through. I think this is a fine program. I think Miles said it last year, you know, it's just a piece. It's not going to solve all the problems. I think there's a lot of problems with downtown. This is just a piece of it, and it's pretty, you know, it's not a costly piece either. I did send to the board, Allison went and talked to a lot of the business owners downtown, just their general thoughts on attracting new businesses. I'm not going to go through them all here, but I did send that to the board. Any general thoughts on the grant loan program? Ways to improve it, just re-upping it for another year at the same rate, leaving it open-ended, increasing the cost. Any thoughts or general discussion on the grant loan program?
Not at the moment.
I wish that there was a way that we could incentivize new construction. Because there's really not any available space. So really, we're talking about doing a program to assist with, I mean, I know there's 2 smaller spaces that are for sale. One is hopefully getting taken now. But there's not a lot of available space to attract new business into town. So essentially, we're doing the program to help grow businesses that we have here, which is a great initiative. And I think that's a good thing for this program. However, if we're really trying to attract new business into town, then we need to make it attractive for them to build here, because that's really the only option that they would have.
That's a lot more money.
Now,
That could cost more than $20,000.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that's the reality.
No, I get it.
I don't know if there's grant money available to, buy and demolish in some cases with commercial or not. I mean, I think that's kind of the key, is to get the money to be able to get rid of some of the obsolete structures and create some open space where somebody can build something that would work for the modern era. And
Yeah, or, extending, like what we did with Casey's, extending the city limits to create space for people to build new things. Like, those are the types of things that are going to bring new business into town.
There is a.
If we're hoping to, this is not going to accomplish that.
Just for numbers, I suppose, like I said, I'm trying to think. I think there were 7 people that reached out in total. 6 of them were new businesses. One would be the Copper Bee. That's the one we approved. Heroes Last Hope would be a new, not a business, but a new reason to be downtown, I suppose, new nonprofit. The other 5, we did approve Shy's program, but she decided not to sign the contract and went somewhere else, mostly because of the problems you're saying, I think. And then the other 4 that reached out were all different restaurants wanting to go into a building that's not for sale. So it's a bit unfortunate, but just for numbers, I think every single business that did reach out was new, other than the Copper Bee. So at least they did generate some interest, but the problem you're talking about prevented them from actually applying or accepting in one case.
Are you looking for a motion to continue the grant program?
Sure.
Or are we like, utility?
Yeah, I've said my piece. That's all.
No,
I
don't
like I said,
I agree with you.
I think this is great. I think it's worked well. It's garnered interest and has been received well. The bank's been a good partner. But ultimately, if we're looking at the big picture of attracting any new business, we have to think outside of this program.
Well, I guess the other option is we just expand it. We do it case by case instead of putting a cap of 25. If we need to amend the appropriations, if someone says, hey, I want to build I'm not gonna say Dollar General, but something, but we need $100,000 on the outside of town, or we need utility infrastructure put in, hey, send in an application and we'll, decide it case by case. Or we could do a facade improvement downtown if you want to beauty up the pig a little bit more. The project can be expanded, or it can just be rubber stamped, and, we liked it the first year enough, we'll continue this year, but if things pop up, we'll look at those case by case. It's just whatever we want to do with it.
I mean, if there's a business wanting to come to town, but they're afraid we won't bring them a fire hydrant, we'll bring it to them any purpose.
So, like I said, I spoke my piece. I think.
Go ahead.
So, the city of Freeport has been demolishing houses, and they've gotten government money for that, just a thought, you're talking about demo.
Yeah, like.
And then the second thing is, there's always the TIF, tax and incentive. For instance, do villages qualify or ever consider that to draw in?
Tax increment financing district. I know it costs a lot of money up front. We did talk about it last year. Though you look at, Pro City's been in the news a little bit because they've had one going for, I think, a generation at this point that's been taking all the money from the school. Was my understanding at least.
And that's where the other taxing districts have a problem with it, is because they don't get any money while it's going on, because the idea is that the extra tax revenue it generates is supposed to pay off the bonds that you issue to do the improvements. And I know there are a lot, so many more of them is that they just extend somebody else's out to you if you can get them to do that. I know it, I mean, maybe 20 years ago, we looked into it pretty seriously too, the
Does
village.
Atlantic have one?
Yes.
They do, but theirs is a little different, and I like to say, I for the life of me don't know how that
Pretty much the Burkholder district.
works financially over there, because I mean, you know, when they're giving people money to fix their roof or paint the front of their building and things like that, I don't know necessarily how that's, you know, something that's going to generate increased assessed value to pay off. You know, I'm assuming the rest of us are paying it out of our pockets and extra taxes for it.
Yeah.
If somebody makes the motion, we can leave sooner.
Yeah. No, he did not. So I'd accept the motion just to extend the grant loan program for another year. And if, you know, things pop up that necessitate us looking at it as more detail, then we can do
I was
that.
gonna say, can we add that caveat in there that we are approving this amount with the possibility of approving larger amounts if an application is presented to us for the right opportunity?
Sure.
And/or infrastructure improvements?
Yeah.
I so move.
All right.
Haha.
I'll second
And with the whole residential thing too, they make it so much more difficult to tear down a commercial.
Well, we have a
building
lot of commercial that
Than
needs
they
to be torn
do.
down.
than they do a
Maybe
residential building.
Part of that was because of the flooding they got grant money to do. Because
I
that's
know Savannah's been accessing some grant money to take down dilapidated houses.
It's only houses, not commercial.
But we have commercial property that could be available for people to build on, but there's a building in their way right now.
Right.
All right, first by Reuter, second by Minders, to reapprove the grant loan program at $25,000 with the understanding that, or I guess caveat or addition, that we will explore other options on a case-by-case basis, including larger infrastructure projects.
First,
yes.
Reuter,
Yes.
Manthe.
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 7, healthcare insurance premiums.
Can we go back to number 6 for a second?
Sure.
With and it is the whole new business thing. They had on the news the other night that only 9 or 10 municipalities in the state of Illinois would be open to a nuclear plant or something like that. Could we be number 10 or 11?
Sure.
Because
The nuclear plant wants to go out.
that would help immensely on many levels.
Sure.
I
You
mean,
want-
I don't know if that has to be a resolution, but how do
Yeah.
we get to be number
How
10?
about you put it on, ask me to put it on the agenda for next month, a resolution in
Please do
support
that.
of nuclear energy.
Except we don't have any nearby large body of water.
We have the pond. What more do you want?
Lake Carroll?
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of being a drain
Yes,
house
they'd be
society,
very
Lake
happy,
Carroll could be a home.
Whole township.
I mean, the power plant in Byron has got to be at least as far away as we are. No, not quite that far away from the Rock River, but
It's a ways.
it's a ways. We could pump water here from Lake Carroll.
Well, Perry pump of water. Get there.
All right, health insurance premium. So, right now, we cover 95% of the premium for our employees and then 0% for kids and spouses. These numbers are talking specifically about kids, but Perry asked if we were going to consider spouses as well. Never thought about it, didn't ask for the numbers, but I'm assuming they're somewhere in the general realm of a kid or
They're
another.
based on, so
they're
they
not.
would be equivalent to probably close to Nicole and Bodie's premium because ours is an age-based rate. So it is specific to the age of the spouse that we would be covering.
Mhm.
It's not like a family plan where it's one set price. It's per individual based on their age.
And if it's like the schools, if she works here and he doesn't, it's stupid expensive to insure him.
So ours
So you-
isn't,
you
ours is the
are-
same
no.
price regardless.
It
of
is?
what-
Okay.
Yes. Whether they are employed here or not, it
Okay.
doesn't matter. It would go under family coverage, but how it is rated, excuse me, is based on their age.
What is our actual, I have the actual cost that ends up being for Bodie and Nicole, but what's the actual premium amount per paycheck that the village is paying?
We just did that. I can go find out.
Do we,
So for
I mean-
Bodie and Nicole specifically, you're wondering what?
well, I can get it generally there.
Okay.
Um,
Because if
wanna
you
do
take
this
the
in
total
open session?
premium, take 5%, which they contribute off, and that would be what the village is paying. Because we pay 95%.
Have we had the same
So this is
insurance
what?
for Like, do we
Mine,
go
the
through a
village pays for
broker?
mine.
Like, I
This
know
is what
the
village
company
pays
that I
for
work
mine.
for,
Every month.
Every
every,
month.
Very good. Okay, so
our,
this is the month.
our plan renews July 1st.
I don't know
So
what
every
Denise's is.
March, they
I think
meet
hers
with
is
our
almost double.
broker,
Gotcha.
and then
There we go.
sometimes we stay with the same insurance, sometimes they switch
And
insurance.
we do that as
Okay.
well. Ours renews December 1, and every year it is reviewed. I am usually sent 3 to 4 options and choose the cheapest is what has happened. It just so happens that, I'm trying to think for how many years, maybe as many as 10, the most inexpensive option has been the Blue Cross and Blue Plan Shield that we are currently with.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah, I
it
was
is,
just wondering what our process was,
re-quoted
yeah.
every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the cost for the premiums for the Cohen Bodie, I'm just using them as an example.
Do you want to talk about this in open session?
That was on-
I'm asking.
That's up to you
Because we
guys.
don't usually talk about compensation in open session.
Well, we can just talk about it generally. It's up to you guys. We can go to executive session or we can not. We can talk about it more generally if you don't want me to keep saying Bodie.
I'm asking.
Can we skip to 9 and 10?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Then I'll leave.
That's up to you
because
guys.
let's be honest, 7
Probably
and 8,
not a bad idea.
7 and 8 should be in.
All right, we will skip number 7 then in case this board wants to go into executive session. So we'll come back to it.
Thank you.
Number 8, Bodie, part-time public works pay. We're paying what, $15 an hour when you need to hire someone to help out?
Yeah, if we need, extra help, it's $15 an hour is not a lot of money.
How much do you want?
I was thinking 20. I think what is township up to 23?
McDonald's pays 20 starting out.
If you want someone to run a $500,000 piece of equipment and you can't trust to pay them $25 an hour, don't hire them.
Well, that was our rationale for increasing Brady's pay.
I agree.
Right, but yeah, I think 20, that's.
But I think 20 is even low.
15 is minimum wage.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old son's making more money than that.
Yeah.
So 23, match the,
I'm just saying, yeah.
No, because we'll be behind here shortly, so I would make it 25. I legitimately would make it 25.
I think we just mentioned township. I think that would be.
It'll be easier when he has a
I think
size.
that would be.
If you can't trust somebody, you can't trust somebody with a backhoe or a dump truck, and you're not willing to pay them $25 an hour, you shouldn't be employing people.
Bodie's asking for 23, Kyle wants 25. It's up to you guys. Make the motion as you see fit.
I say 23 with
What-
job performance, if we can.
Well,
both
this
do that.
isn't a full-time
Yeah,
position. This is just
part-time.
as.
This is just
Like random.
Yeah.
temporary
Like
part-time
someone who
help
needs,
is
like, that helps plow, or if we have someone
Right,
come
right.
help
It's not like, it's not like.
sometimes.
Shoot, I'll
it's gotta be-
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be lovely because he can't pay you. Awesome.
It would be a joke.
I say, Butch learned this the hard way when Jason passed away.
Fine, 25.
What does Brady make? I don't.
25. That's-
Okay,
He's full-time, so he gets benefits as
Yeah.
well. But he's at 25, and we just increased that this year.
I would say 23 is enough.
But you're not understood. Hey,
Yeah,
$25 an hour guy gets health insurance. $23 an hour guy doesn't.
Right, well, you might as well have a job.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody make a motion. I've done mine for the day.
I moved up the extra help part-time to $23.
I'll second. Oh, there you go.
Can't go.
Allen,
Yes.
Miller.
Yep.
Shevitz.
Yes.
Okay, you can do now.
Now you can-
Minders.
Yes.
Reuter.
No. I just want to make sure. I think it should be 25, but I
Okay,
don't
I'll
care.
put no. if you
That's-
want
yeah.
no. Manty.
Yes.
All right, $23 an hour.
Really scares her when I say no.
All right, number 9, water system and maintenance.
Crap, the list goes on. Sorry.
Let's see where I can find this. So Perry's requesting that we approve a service company to come down and help her out on a few things. Let me get the exact list of what they would do. So this is the list. I mean, I don't know the exact in and outs of what this all means, but
So,
essentially there's something that she's done before and it's caused, she's had to go back and rectify it. So they're gonna come and do all these things for her and help her out, teach her exactly how to do it, prevent maintenance issues from arising in the future. Again, I'm not gonna read everything they're going to do, but
when we went through this, well, other than Denise and Kip and Butch and I, Jason, you remember Jason getting to use the portable lab? Jason got to spend, 6 or 8 months in there? In a trailer that had a small version of the Tonka system and the stuff up at the tower. He had the opportunity to learn before we were using it. Perry never got that opportunity. So it's something that, what was the price? 5?
yeah, it's right here. The total price comes out to $4,670 was the quoted price, which is still good. So again, it's gonna do a host of services and they're gonna help provide her guidance and clarification on doing these listed items.
Which would be a great thing with the caveat that we send Nicole too.
Do the
Sounds
same thing.
sounds like a great idea.
And quite frankly, about
You've
even,
been voluntold.
I know.
this is gonna sound terrible. If he's not busy that day, he should go too.
Send the whole team.
If
Once
he's
in a-
not busy that day.
Once in a while, she goes on vacation. I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody
I'm
knows.
gonna have to start making signs to put on my door. I'm at the water tower.
Yeah.
I'm
There you
mowing.
go.
Yes, I'm mowing. I'm on lunch.
Yep,
So when people come, they're like,
We'll get
"Where's
you
she
like-
at?"
we'll get you an electronic sign, one of the little ones that
Yeah,
can
they're
run.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
re-
You can
Change
change
the
it from your
message.
phone.
Yeah, there. I guess. Yeah.
So
Sounds like something that's probably necessary for Perry.
Yeah, it literally is. I would make the
And it may
motion
save
for
you money
number
in the long
9,
run
It probably will.
versus a mistake
Yes.
being made that then has to be corrected.
which I'm not gonna lie,
So.
she has had but corrected it.
Yeah.
Right.
I would move that we approve number 9 on the agenda with the caveat that we also send Nicole to the training.
The water Nazi would do it cheaper.
Yes.
Second.
All right, was there a second?
Yes.
All right, roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Miller,
Yeah.
Shevitz,
Yes.
Minders,
Yes,
Reuter,
Yes.
Manthe.
Yes.
Waiting for me to say no.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, number 10,
Ugh,
Woo!
law enforcement and Shannon.
We skipped 2.
Why'd you
remember?
put that 10?
I know.
I just thought it'd be the quickest one, so right out the door.
Yeah.
So of course, as is always the case, anyone can make a motion for whatever they want during this, whether that's to hire someone, whether it's to continue with the county, whatever it may be, all motions are on the table. It's up to you. I'll just let you know where I'm at. Motions were made at the last meeting to hire a police chief. Those were turned down. And as I've always said, I'm gonna keep working with the county until this board tells me differently. So I did meet with the county administrator, the state's attorney, and the sheriff, and went through the contract essentially line by line. I revised it, what I thought we talked about, I sent it to the state's attorney. He sent me some comments back this last week for me to keep going through. Essentially they want this contract to be perfect, which makes sense. It's a big thing. It's gonna be the model contract. All of these items he's talking about, I don't think this board will care about. It's talking about, let's make sure that the county isn't liable for Village Hall or the garage just because they're using them for a certain time, just additional provisions like this. The only,
Why
I
are
get
they in Village Hall?
if they need to interview someone,
To take the county.
well, they just,
We don't want to be involved.
well, they can use the back room, of what we had talked about previously.
Why do we want to be involved?
Well, in case they need to interview someone for a crime
Call
that
them about
happened.
Carol.
Well, that's one of the items. As it stands right now, the current contract, which I did send to everyone, though I didn't expect everyone to read the 15 pages again,
Oh, I did.
is that they can use Village Hall to interview people. They're in charge of it while they're here. By that, I mean, they have to look out for it while they use it and they'll close it up. They can use the garage. Those are the two provisions that they want to make sure is spelled out so they are not liable. We still are going to insure those items, which of course we will. The only big item left over that we continue to discuss is what happens with all the equipment. The sheriff and the chief deputy came down here last week to inventory everything one last time with an expected obsolescence date. They want some terms that after this obsolescence date, the village, these items are worth nothing essentially. As it's currently written, they get our items, if the contract ends, we get them back with the understanding that through normal wear and tear, things break during law enforcement services, things are gonna go by the wayside. They just want a projected obsolescence date. Most likely that will be after the 4-year term, saying, hey, if this contract goes 6-8 years and these tasers last 5, at year 6, you're not gonna get the tasers back anymore. We're going back and forth on that. That's the only, I guess I'd say, final sticking point. But all those terms, I think, are going around the same idea. I think we all agree, or at least I agree, the sheriff agrees, and the county administrator and state's attorney, we're just getting the exact terms of what it means to return the items 6-7 years down the line if this contract doesn't work out. All that's to say, the contract is essentially done.
Why is there no, I apologize, I was out of town last month and was not able to be here, but can you remind me, why are they so opposed to giving us anything for our equipment?
Well, this is
They're
just
going to be taking it, using all the useful life out of it, and then dumping it back on us, and they don't want to give us anything for it. That's the part that I am like, the cost is, in the ballpark, but if we're gonna give them all of this stuff, then they should give us credit for them using our stuff that we're giving them for free. Why is that a sticking point?
Because they don't want to pay, because that costs them money.
I also don't love the idea that we may have weeks where we only have 20 hours of coverage.
Yeah.
21.
That was gonna be part 2
Part
for
20,
me.
yeah.
Has anybody ever asked what the number of hours of coverage are not when we're not paying them $125,000?
Well, and that's
Well, that's the great part, 24/7, 365, because they're on call.
Oh,
not in the
But
village
not any
itself.
patrol.
They're not in the
But I'm
building.
saying patrol, do they,
Patrol.
what I'm saying is
Right.
where is the value of the money that we
It's
are
definitely
paying?
gone up over the last 4 months since we've been entertaining this contract.
But
I was
understand,
what I
they
was
are-
going to say
they
is
have
I
two
see them
deputies
here
that
now
live in
more
town.
than I ever have
They are,
before.
and it should be noted that they hired 2 new deputies earlier this year, so their staffing numbers have just increased, so they're
Yes.
able to be here more.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the big incident is, what was it, last weekend? Robberies, I guess I'm calling them, but that's not technically what they were. They were in the village within, the thefts, thank you. They were in the village within 7 minutes, I believe. And they ultimately had 3 deputies and a K9 going through yards at 3 a.m. and a foot chase. We get that for free. I've heard people from all sides saying, well, this is why we need a police chief. To me, that argument doesn't hold a lot of water to me. To me, it says the county was here in 7 minutes and had a foot chase with people who were going through cars at 3 a.m. So that's the service we already have. But
I think
they do not give us patrol coverage. That's what this contract is. It's not for the emergency services they're already giving us because
But
they are
those will
going to
get
do that.
added to the 30 hours.
So that is current.
they will
To
be
the village.
subtracted.
Right,
Right.
that's what I mean.
They will be
Subtract,
subtracted.
No, the
It's
contract
used.
says that
Right?
if they're here for emergencies, that is not counted against the 30 hours.
It's
And the
not.
No,
30
it
hours-
is. It is. You're thinking the original contract, which was 21 hours on top of emergencies. Right now it's 30 hours, which includes emergencies.
If they come into village limits, it's added or subtracted from our.
Okay, I misread that.
And so I'm weird and wrote out like 13 weeks, wrote down random numbers and then like added the number. So like if they aren't on average 30 hours a week, so they're 90 hours in those 13 weeks, how are they gonna ensure at week 13 that we're hitting the 30-hour quota?
Average, yeah.
So right now it's by quarter, which is the 13 weeks like you're saying. And if they do not hit that 30 hours a week, they have to make those up currently in the next quarter.
I'd rather get reimbursed.
By the
those
way, we have
hours.
no way of proving they were here for 30 hours.
No, they're gonna give us a report.
So like, if that's $38 an hour
You
for
said that
pay,
with a straight
technically
face.
we break things down, right?
Right.
And they miss the quarter, say by 25 hours, just because they couldn't make it up.
Sure.
Then we should get reimbursed that 25 hours times the $38, and that go towards our pay for that next quarter.
Yeah, so that is, I guess, contemplated somewhat in the contract, which is, if you can't make these hours up, we have to talk. And the idea is you're gonna pay, or, we're gonna have to get some credit. So there is a line talking about credits toward the contract price. It's not spelled out exactly
Right,
as neatly as you said, but it essentially is you have to make up the hours. If you don't make up the hours, we have to meet and talk about how we're gonna fix this.
Right.
Which
'Cause I
there's really
don't-
only one sensible way to do that, which is, okay, you have to credit us for those hours.
Here, so we're having this discussion about these hypothetical hours. How do we even know? I mean, they could say they're here 30 hours.
Shit.
Well, but this
How
is.
do we know that that's happening?
Yeah.
Why would they ever say that they were here less than 30 hours?
And this is what it comes down to, what we talked about a long time ago, which is policing, the police chief as well,
Yes.
And we talked about,
I have
when the
some
sheriff
trust
came in, he
issues.
said he's going to file reports. I don't know if you're gonna get any better than written reports.
Yes. Oh, I've never been happy about any of this call. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Kyle.
It could be a fire.
Well, okay, that's better.
Well, you're not moving very quickly.
I can't hear it anyway. Sorry.
So that's the only thing that when I was reading through it too, I don't love that because we're paying them for a full deputy and we're getting 30 hours for the minutes of that deputy. I know we're not getting one single person. I know that that's gonna be an out, which is why I like about it. It's because it's different hours, different people, et cetera. It's not a set.
I can tell
They
you it's
could
gonna be significantly less than 30 hours because they are in town for emergencies already. And if that is counting against the 30 hours, there's gonna be some months where we won't have any patrolling, just like we're getting right now.
Right.
Do you think
So-
they're-
So why are
you
we
think
paying
they're in here 30
$100,000?
I think that there are some months where they're here 30 hours in a month,
Well, it's per week, 30 hours per week.
or 30 hours in a week.
That would be news to me, I guess. I mean, I know they have been getting calls. I don't think it's anywhere near a few hours per week in emergencies.
All I'm saying is we're not going to be getting 30 hours of patrol in any week, period. I mean, as I read through the contract, I don't like the contract at all. There's several problems with it as far as I'm concerned.
So you would make a motion to,
Don't push.
damn.
Yeah, it talks about the,
It's okay.
So I have a dumb question, and remind me. So we're trying to button this up to then present to the county board?
the county
County is-
board, the county board's been communicating through the sheriff, state's attorney,
Okay.
and county administrator, which is how these concerns were brought to me in our meeting.
That gentleman that was here.
Correct, he's the county administrator. So the board members that have reached out to him, these were, when we went through line by line and edited the contract, those concerns were incorporated. So the goal was to have a final contract for the county board on
September.
August 20th, their second board meeting.
Of 2027.
Like, I mean, I've been in the business world for a long time and I know you do not negotiate a deal from a disadvantage. You want to negotiate a deal from a point of strength, which they have all the leverage and strength.
Yep.
And they're pushing us around like they do, and we don't have to take their deal.
Nope.
They're giving
We
them,
do not.
we literally have, every month it's, well, they want this, and then we add it in and concede, and then whether we want this, and then we add it and concede.
What did we tell them
And
last
now,
month?
we don't need them.
We told
we
them
can
last month, we
continue
didn't
to
want it
do-
to cost more money, and what is it going to do? It's going to cost more money.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're pushing us around because they are in control. They know that they have something that we need. And we really have no.
Need
other
is a
option.
strong word. I mean, the truth is, we don't need this contract.
That's right.
You know,
I move we
And I
stop
think we
talking
need,
about
I
it.
think we need to start acting like we don't need this contract because otherwise they're just gonna keep pushing the envelope until all of a sudden we're giving them all of our stuff in $150,000 a year and we get 10 hours. I mean, that's what it's gonna end up being eventually, like.
Well, because if they
I mean-
end up going to
They're bending us over
Thompson
a
and
barrel.
Chadwick,
They're bending us.
Right.
You're exactly right.
if they start increasing to the other communities that they're gonna go out to, then
They're trying to use us as an example.
And we don't need it. We have emergency coverage. We have someone who is enforcing our ordinances. If there's an emergency in town, they are obligated to come. And we have our ordinances being, I mean, we don't need
They've been
to,
enforced well. I mean,
we don't need to stay at the table with them.
I did speak with another municipality in this last month from a different county, of course, but they haven't had a police department for, I don't know, 10 plus years. And I
the
was like,
place
oh,
is
do you,
still standing?
I was like, do you pay the county? And she said, no, they come and patrol when they're supposed to. And
Well, I think the biggest problem we've had too is we've had our community just letting the world know that we're in this predicament. And that isn't helpful to our community either, because that's just opening the freaking door.
Yeah.
You know, it's not helping at all. So that's
yeah, I think that is an issue.
But again, if there's an emergency,
yeah, either way.
9
it's
times
tough,
out of
yeah.
10, the county would be here anyways. Like what happened the other morning. If there's someone breaking into people's cars and houses at 3 a.m, the county would be here.
Right.
The
Contract or
county
not.
or Lanark or Milledgeville or
If
whomever
there
they
is
call.
Any sort of emergency, they are
were-
obligated to be, we pay taxes in Carroll County, all of us do.
Yep.
They have to come. Whether we pay them another $125,000 or not, they have to come.
Right.
So why are we doing this?
I think we lucked out, they were close by, it could have been a half hour, you know.
Well, it could have been that for a chief too, if they lived in Rock Falls.
Rock Falls, same.
I mean,
Yeah,
or in Rochelle, like the
Well,
one
they
guy we were
live in
looking
town.
at or whatever. I mean,
they live in Shannon,
well, you show me the guy who lives in Shannon, that's a good candidate and we'll hire him.
there is one.
I mean, I think the problem is we need people that are willing to work varying hours. They can't be a set schedule for our
Right.
chief, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They can't. It's our only
Monday through Friday, 8 to 3.
person. They need to be able to
You wanna
work
work Monday
nights,
through Friday, 8 to 3,
weekends,
go get a desk.
days, all the things. And we don't
Just
have
saying.
the money to
No,
hire
yeah.
part-time and do all the things like other communities that are able to give chiefs that. We just don't, we can't. And I think that's our issue. Same with IMRFA for changes and offerings. All that stuff is our
And even if
lineup
the
of
chief,
issues.
even if the
around.
chief that we hired does live in town, we can chain him to his house. Like, I mean, it could still take
Can call 24/7 either way, yeah.
30, 40 minutes for the county to get here because we have a chief. That's happened.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
so
are
I mean,
we,
there's
what are
no
we doing?
perfect answer here.
I have a
It's 3:05.
question about you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality. I mean, they have to be off sometimes.
Right, oh, yeah, 100%. Yep.
I have a question about your contract. They aren't going to do our, not code enforcement, but
Ordinance.
ordinance enforcement. Does that mean the speed limit's gonna go to 30? Because that's an ordinance.
I mean, what it comes down to, speeding is different than, we're talking about
No.
nuisance ordinance enforcement.
It's an ordinance. We
That I
can't
think
have-
it, but you can write those as uniform traffic citations. I think you have to.
They have to be.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
that-
to. I understand that, but they've chosen not to do ordinance enforcement.
We're talking about nuisances. We're talking about the stuff that Bodie would enforce. Those traffic adjacent, that would be fine.
I mean,
I-
that's where I'm at. I know I'm only one person.
I just
Again,
don't
I've
love,
spoken my piece, but I do not.
Well,
like this
it just
contract
comes down
at all.
to what this board wants to do. Steve's right. We have a police chief candidate we want. We could hire, we have a police chief candidate if this board wants it, I should say. We can start looking at applications again. We could just shutter the police department and say, we're happy with the county emergency services. And maybe that shows them, hey, if you want to come into this contract with us, it's gotta be on much
Our
more favorable
yeah,
terms.
I don't,
Terms
I'm like,
Or-
pay for a full deputy, you know, like
Just
get.
give us
half
the terms
deputy.
you're already giving the school.
And if you're
Welcome
gonna
to
push
the
it,
boat I've been floating.
the county
in for
the county administrator and the sheriff disagree with the exact cost of a deputy. So I
Well,
just,
maybe they
Well, I
should
get
get a
that,
new
but-
calculator
Well,
and
all I'm
figure
saying
it the
is, why are
frick out.
they pushing us to the brink? They have a template.
Cause they,
I-
Because they're making.
I've been
They have
saying-
3, actually.
I've been saying, I think they are, the county
And they didn't
administrator
even
and the
have any-
board, they think they're different. The sheriff,
They're
I
not.
won't talk to the sheriff. I think they are apples to apples. I
I
agree
hope
with
the
you.
county
They didn't
administrators
even give
watch
them
it.
any
They're not
equipment for
different.
free either. They had to pay out to outfit the new deputy that they hired. We're giving them all the stuff for the deputy already.
Are we all in agreement we're unhappy with the county?
I'm not happy with this
Yeah.
contract.
Or we're not happy with this contract?
I make a motion to hire our own chief of police.
I'm not there either.
Well, let's,
That wasn't where I was going. I was one step at a time, Steve.
well,
Do we have a second?
No.
there can be more discussion too. There's plenty of time for discussion. It's only 8:00, everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, we have been here till 11 o'clock for a while.
yeah.
I don't know, I just,
So here, I mean, let's just lay out the options. The first is what Steve says. We start the process toward hiring a chief again. I'm not now.
Any other applications other than the person that we?
Well, no, because we haven't been.
Okay.
Last month, we turned down putting out
Okay, yeah.
job
All right.
posting. So we still have the applicant. We can put job posting. Again, we did that, should be known. You know, we had 13 applicants. I interviewed 8. This board talked to 4. We all know what that process looks like. The other is we just shutter the police department. And maybe that results in a contract that's a little bit more equitable. This board might better. The other is we just tell the county, hey, these are our terms.
Like it
Go
or
back.
lump it?
Like it or lump it, yeah.
Okay, one hurdle at a time.
Yeah, you, the board has to decide.
I move we terminate this contract at this time with the county.
As written.
I mean, terminate negotiations with the county currently. Until they come up with something better, I have no interest.
Okay, first by Reuter to stop talking with the county at the present time is how I'm going to take that. Is that fair enough?
Yep.
Stop talking with the county. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call on stopping discussions with the county on a law enforcement services agreement.
Allen?
no.
Miller?
Yep.
Shevitz?
No.
Minders?
Yes.
Reuter?
Yes.
Manthe?
No.
No. All right, so we're still gonna talk about a contract.
Okay, so you three just told me you weren't happy with the contract.
I'm not happy with the contract, that doesn't mean I'm not willing to keep.
I don't think we need to
the
shut off any
conversation.
avenue. All I'm saying is we don't need to rush into making a deal on some
I
timeline
agree.
Yeah,
that
the
doesn't
heat
work
lamp
for us.
doesn't need to be,
Turned off.
But I'm drawing the line in the sand saying, guys, we're done giving into your crap.
Well, I'm
if you're
saying
listening.
that too, but I'm saying we should still negotiate with
Right.
them, but we
Well,
don't
We've been
have,
negotiating for 10 months
But we don't
and it
have-
keeps
well, the
getting
board-
We've
worse.
also just been sending Ryan,
right.
to
Well,
be fair.
We've been negotiating for 10 months.
Well,
We've been tossing it
we've been
around,
talk-
it's been him and the sheriff.
me and the
or
county have been
whatever,
talking about it in
more so
earnest
than-
for 4 months. That doesn't mean, the sheriff and I started in
I mean,
October. We
board
revisited
didn't
it
even
back
know
For
about it.
almost a year.
Just the sheriff and I started in October. Then this board decided we're gonna hire a police chief, so those stopped. And then once this board decided in full in April, we're going all in on the county, that's when it really started in earnest. I'm
I
not
mean, the
saying,
board didn't
we
even know
had a draft-
conversations were happening.
we had a draft contract.
They don't want this. If they wanted this, they'd have signed up with the SRO contract.
Well, if they don't
paid
want it,
for.
then they don't need to take our money. That's fine too.
well, that's what I'm saying is I'm not saying that we need to cut ties with the county 100%. What I'm saying
That
is
was
that,
step one. Step two could have been different.
what I'm saying is they feel like and are treating us like they have all the power. We don't need them. So we need to start acting like that and we need to start negotiating from a power point.
Is that a motion to shutter the police department?
Haven't we already done that?
We have not officially shuttered it.
Denise, how much does it cost to run? I mean, you're still paying like liability insurance on all the stuff. I mean, how
Yeah.
much does that cost us a year?
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Just to, on the year that we only had 36,000 in expenses for the police department in salary, we still had another 36,000 in just running the department on bare bones. In a full year, the department itself, everything, not including salaries and gas and things of that nature, are 45 to 50,000 just to have a department sitting there.
So couldn't you just shutter it and then put everything on surplus and just?
That
if
is
you wanna negotiate,
certainly,
we're gonna have to
that
put
is certainly an
surplus in
idea.
for it.
That is an option.
Although we do levy some funds.
We,
Uh-huh.
$15,000, we do levy for some of those, so.
So that does have to be dedicated
Well,
for.
and the other thing, I know when you guys have had your discussions about police chiefs, Nicole and I have kind of talked about this a little bit because I was saying this was back when the $80,000 number was thrown out. And so what I said, $80,000 salary is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
You are now paying 5% of that 80,000 in pension, and that's on the low side, that's what.
And if we went to IMRF, it'd be 13.
Correct. And then it increases our village liability policy because you have a police department. That liability, they couldn't give me a firm number. However, I did contact them to let them know we have not had an active department since September. So when that renewal comes up, it will reflect that, assuming we don't continue to not have an active department. So it would save in insurance, it would save in wages, it would definitely save in benefits, because also we talked about if it is a benefited at $80,000, you're also now paying that person's health and dental and pension. So aside from the past experience, when you guys are talking about getting, and so I'm just throwing this out there because firsthand experience. If you are worried about only getting 30 hours of coverage in a week, I believe that we were paying a full-time chief and we got a lot less than that.
I mean, it's just less than that on paper too. I mean, 80,000 after all the benefits, we're closing in on 100 if we're not there. And then on a 40-hour work week, which is actually 35 because we count so we're at 35, and they have to do 12 and a half hours on average of administrative work a week, which means a police chief on their own is doing 22.5 hours of patrolling for $100,000 just in salary, plus the cost of the department.
Okay.
The money.
Hold up a minute. You are comparing a chief, the cost of a chief in the police department, to the underling they're gonna send here to Shannon. The
No.
underling, no, let me
We're just
finish.
talking costs.
I understand the cost. The underling cost that they send to Shannon when there's a call isn't the chief of police cost. You need to know that. They're different. They're not making $100,000 a year.
No.
They're not, it is different. I'm sorry.
I mean, in my mind, it doesn't matter. The village
Yeah,
is spending $100,000.
The village paying $100,000 is insane.
I mean, that's the SRO price. When you're talking, give us the SRO price, it's $100,000.
Yeah, but we get more hours with the
No, it's the
SRO.
same. It's the same.
I don't think patrol time would be the same.
Yeah, but we'd have a guy. And you can account for a person. You can hold a person accountable. It's hard to hold a department accountable because it's, oh, well, he was there, so-and-so was there.
From my understanding, this village hasn't been able to hold any police chief accountable to their
The
hours.
last-
And
the
no, I'm not
last-
talking about just the last one. I'm
Tom
talking about-
Stoner, in my opinion, was the last chief that we held accountable.
And when was that?
That was 25 years ago.
I was gonna say,
Well, they fired Troy.
I would say never, anywhere,
Yeah.
not just Shannon.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not saying I want a police department of our very own, but I agree with him. I think we're getting horribly taken advantage of by the county.
oh, well, right. I don't disagree.
What
with
does
that.
not getting taken advantage of look like to you?
I can tell you with 100% certainty, I do not want a police department. However, I do not want to take a bad deal that's going to cost us money for little to nothing in return.
Bingo.
How
As,
about just disposing of the equipment? Get what you can for it, and then that takes it off the
And then-
table as an issue.
Yeah, then you can pay for,
Then you negotiate going forward, and that's off
Oh,
the
that's
table
fair.
because we no
put
longer
everything on
have
surplus,
it.
sell it for what we can and bank the money and renegotiate what you pay them.
I imagine it'd be higher. I mean, the thing is,
Probably need a black SUV to drive around in with smoke windows and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Oh, well, it works for others, so.
I mean, I guess we need more votes or direction from this board. I mean, the board can vote to hire a police chief today, or we can vote to shutter the police department, and that shuttering the police department can look like a lot of different things, but that certainly sends a message of where we're at. I know Kyle, you previously talked about wanting to talk to Lanark again, or God knows what, you know. It's just, where are you at? Do you want to hire a police chief?
I don't necessarily want to hire a police chief.
You've
But
also said
but I
that you think
also
this is
agree-
inevitable.
I also agree with him I don't think what we're doing currently with the county is working. I think we're getting screwed.
Oh, I think what we're currently doing is working great.
Well, I meant the I think we're getting taken advantage of. We're being taken to the woodshed because we're first.
Our bottom line's looking great.
I'm sure it is. When you spend no money, that helps immensely.
I mean, I would say they need to come back with a more serious offer. This is absurd.
Does anyone want to go to a board meeting with me or have this?
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go as well.
Okay, well, if there's more than three of us, we might as well just have a joint meeting at that point, but two of you
Okay.
plus
I
me
mean,
would
I
be fine.
I need to know when it was so I can
They're Thursdays.
be off the.
I mean, what I'm gathering, at least from three of you, is the county contract with more reasonable terms when it comes to cost and the equipment. Those are,
Cost, equipment, and
Hours.
what we're getting.
For said cost.
so you're saying 30 hours plus emergency because you're already doing.
Yeah, that, they're already
Because you're
doing
legally
that.
required to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
We're asking,
We already
paid for that. we are asking for over and above emergency services as 30 hours.
We pay
of-
a lot for that already. I mean, you shouldn't have to pay again.
There's a lot of tax money goes to them already from
Yeah.
everybody here.
Yeah.
It's
We-
So do you wanna,
thousands.
are you looking for a motion to renegotiate or
This board has to
this
decide.
board is gonna get tired of sitting here after 8 o'clock?
This is early.
No, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, this is
No.
early.
Early, yeah. You start at
Middle
7.
of the afternoon.
I make a motion to renegotiate.
With the terms as discussed here.
I second.
We need to start acting like we don't need them because we
Yeah.
don't need them.
I agree.
We need that.
We need them when you call, you need them,
Well, no, I mean, we don't need them as a municipality.
we need them when
They
you call
are the Carroll
911.
County Sheriff's Department. They are obligated to service emergencies in our area anyway, so we don't
Yeah.
need them.
I think it
For
was first by
enforcement
Minder, second
outside
by
of that.
Manthe.
Kyle.
I threw my
Second
dice
by
again.
Reuter.
Cool.
Okay.
You throw that away so I stop playing with it, please. Thank you.
Okay,
Hit
Allen,
him over the head.
Yes.
Miller,
Yep.
Shevitz.
Yes.
Minders.
Yes.
Reuter.
Yep.
Manthe.
Yes.
Gonna hit me with something, hit me with something heavy.
Can I get some direction as well? If this fails, what is the backup? Does the board want to shutter the police department at that point?
That would be where I'm at, yeah.
I would agree.
I wouldn't.
The person who was interested, are they still interested or, okay, I didn't know if you could talk
That's
to them.
kind of why I'm trying to get some direction.
I think it's the coverage that he's, or the work hours that he's wanting that I don't.
And are we opposed to actually, did you guys actually talk to the board in Leonard?
No, I reached out to the mayor. She said she put it on the agenda for us, and at that time started talking to the county in earnest and never went in front of the board in Lanark.
Again,
I feel sorry for them.
we would be negotiating from,
No. But bear with me. I feel sorry for Leonard because without a police department here or someone here, when the county's in Savannah, Leonard's gonna end up sending someone over here. And that's gonna start to cost them money.
She did already jokingly bring that up.
Anyway, moving on. Let's go back to number whatever.
This is.
Do you want me to tell interested applicants that we're not interested in a police chief at this time, if this county contract falls through? Or do you want me to continue to say,
I mean, I'm only one person, but yeah, that's what I want. I don't want to have. a
Yeah, there's
police
no
department.
reason to keep dragging somebody on.
So make a motion.
I make a motion that we tell,
we stop
Any-
looking at other avenues, I
any
guess is,
yeah, any open applicants that we are no longer, that the position is not available currently.
Second.
roll call.
How fast do you think that right?
Apparently not fast enough.
If it works.
So you don't know shorthand, right?
Yeah.
Who was the second?
Alan.
Okay, I thought so. Okay. Manthe,
Yes.
Reuter,
Yes.
Minders,
Yes.
Shevitz,
Yes.
Miller,
No,
Allen.
Yes.
There's
Motion
some of that
passes.
water shooting up the street somewhere.
Don't say that.
Okay. I think that highlights our position to the county pretty
Good night,
clearly.
everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betsy.
I think that's about as plain as we can make it for the county. So I will let them
If I
know.
understood that, that means the ball's still in their court?
Basically, if they, the original contract that we gave them, I think was very fair. If they have that contract, sign me up. But stop trying to
Bully or strong
milk
arm
the
us
cow.
into-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Like I said, Bodie needs a new truck anyways, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
Yeah.
Getting rid of everything.
That's certainly an
Just
option.
Take it out of the equation. I'd be happier with that than giving it to them for nothing.
I move we surplus the unused police equipment.
I said,
We can do it.
We can do it. How about we keep the new squad car? I would
For
suggest
what?
we keep the new squad car out of that equation for now.
For what? So it decreases in value every day?
I think that is the biggest bargaining chip for the county. I mean, that's $70,000 on their end they'd have to buy.
biggest
That
bargaining
is what
chip.
I
we
call-
were gonna give that to them for free. And
That
they
is what I
still
call my
charging us.
friend their problem.
What do you mean bargaining chip?
By that, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they were gonna give
Without
us
the-
You
no
think they're gonna
credit.
come back at 120 if we take the cop car away?
Is their intention to hire another
Yes.
additional officer only because of this?
Yes, but not just for our city.
If they're hiring
They'll be
Essentially-
adding to their staff.
They'll get 40 new
People
hours,
from-
30 of those new hours will be going to Shannon, not just from that deputy, but their overall coverage hours per week will increase by 40 with 30 dedicated to Shannon.
We're asking them to pretend that Shannon's in Carroll County.
Well, like Denise said, I've been seeing a lot more squad cars in Shannon recently.
We've doubled the amount of policemen that live here. You know that, right?
I do know that,
Great
but they
community to
also,
live, and everyone wants to live in Shannon.
yeah.
And they have, about a $400,000 incentive to spend a little bit more time here right now too.
Yeah, really.
Was there a second to surplusing all equipment?
I seconded it.
All of it was all the police equipment, right?
Surplus all police
When we
equipment.
say that, does that mean we're not gonna keep the truck for other uses?
No offense, he needs a different truck. He doesn't need a piece of crap Dodge truck.
Yes.
Okay. Manthe,
Yes.
Reuter,
Yep.
Minders.
Yep.
Shevitz,
Yes.
Miller.
Yep.
Allen.
Yes.
Well, at that point, I think the next step is just to shutter the police department so we start saving costs then. I mean, if we're saying we're not looking at applicants, we're surplusing all our equipment, I think it's time just to shutter the department then because stop paying the costs. I mean, that's
Didn't we just get rid of the
No,
cost?
no,
Offic-
insurance. and-
officially, we're
There's
done. We
nothing
don't
to
have.
insure if we get rid of it all.
Well, if
No, we
say
have a
our
You
police
still have to
department, we
cover the
still have
liability
insurance.
insurance and
As
everything
though you
else.
had a department.
Yeah,
even
so
though
if
they're
we're
not.
surplusing all the equipment, not looking at police applicants, this board has effectively shuttered the department except on paper. So
I
I
moved
think,
to shut down the police department.
Can we just leave it as inactive?
In,
Still
With
have
the
to
insurance?
pay for,
we still have
We
to,
have to
Still
be
have to
sure.
pay.
We
we
still
can
have-
reopen it at any time, I mean, that's.
Yeah, you can.
yeah,
That's a great part of this job. No matter what you screw up, you can usually.
You can always go back. Are you saying this is a script?
In a month, if we've been surrounded by a whole bunch of people that are pissed over this decision, because guess what? You'll know by the middle of tomorrow.
Still doesn't
middle of
mean-
tomorrow, we'll know tonight.
Still doesn't mean it's the wrong decision.
You'll know
How's the
it's late election next year.
I feel sorry for those people over there.
You're gonna be looking at new faces in a year.
You'll have a whole bunch of
First of
beautiful,
all,
hopefully a whole bunch of new beautiful faces over there. Anyway,
Do I have a second?
yeah, that was him.
Oh.
Oh, no, that was the thing
No.
before.
No, that's.
I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, I
I'm
haven't had
sorry.
one for this
I
one.
forgot.
Throwing
him under the bus.
Like
I threw my voice 2 other times.
This is to shutter the department. We need a second.
I seconded.
I made the other motion. Somebody else could talk.
Okay, Allen,
Yes.
Miller,
Yeah.
Shevitz,
Yes.
Minders,
Yes.
Reuter,
Yes.
Manthi.
Yes.
Okay. I expect we might be having a special meeting here soon. If the county wants something to change on their end dramatically, quickly. Otherwise, we'll start proceeding in this fashion, so.
What do you anticipate them wanting?
I was just saying,
I
they
anticipate them
moved
coming-
real quickly, not at all, so.
I anticipate if they want this contract on terms that I think they would find acceptable, I imagine they would present a counteroffer, which would include the squad vehicle.
And if you think that's gonna be quick, I will be amazed.
They can buy it.
Right, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's for sale, put it,
Should put an end.
They can buy it outright.
It'll be on surplus, they can buy it.
Yeah, we'll have to, I mean, you have to pass, you declare it surplus, we'll have to pass an ordinance
So we,
and
Grab that
decide how
list
you
of
want
that
to
they
dispose of it. I mean, I don't know,
We
is
got a
there any other kind of vehicles that the public works department needs or anything like that? Maybe it's trade-in fodder or,
yeah, well, we have an inventory of the police department, so we can get an ordinance for next month. We shuttered it. Yeah, we shuttered it. Yeah, that's true.
They put a value on everything and everything.
Yeah, they did.
They
Sure
did the
did.
work.
I don't know if there's a value on
I
any
just
of that
across the
stuff.
board.
but
They gave
it's
a
probably
general
worth it.
number.
We could put it on Marketplace to see if they bid.
Well, I mean, some of it, I don't know how, probably, I don't know what the market is for, like tasers or things like that.
Well, hopefully,
Well, and I think those tasers, 2 years ago, I thought it was a grant, but I think they actually are loaned instead, so sheriff was telling me.
That wasn't.
The tasers were grant?
We paid
we
for
paid
those.
dearly for
We are
those.
reimbursed by
There was something,
Ilias,
the sheriff told me that there's
ILEAS.
something that we actually have on loan that we don't own outright.
I think that was the
That might-
rifles.
Yeah, the M16s,
Well,
they went
took-
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those took-
those went back.
there's something back there right now, or it might be, I'll check with the sheriff.
Clarified, it should not be the tasers, because I had
You're right.
proof, I have the
Okay.
invoice.
We paid for them.
And we paid for them, and then we did, however, get reimbursed 100% of the cost from Ilias,
Okay.
which is that
Illinois,
ILEAS.
Yeah.
Because we found out, we
Law
were working on
enforcement.
something and found
Yeah.
those today.
It's the cops made us.
Anyway,
All right.
Is it the radios? Don't we? get
I'll
those
double
from the-
check. I'll double check what it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. I thought it
One
was
or
the
two
tasers,
of
but
Those came through the county, I thought.
That's what I thought. That's
The
the one thing
radios
I
did.
can think of is
but
the
we
radios.
paid a lot of money for those, that's why
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
no.
how is
Yeah.
they?
I'll
The
double
mon-
check.
The money, the radios are ours, the county pays there's a fee every month that
Yes.
the special radios have to have. For
Starcom.
Starcom, yes,
Yeah.
thank you, I have one, I can't remember. The county, the 911 board pays for it, but I believe there are radios.
I'll double check with the sheriff. I'll give him a call, so I might have just misunderstood. Any other discussions on law enforcement in Shannon?
Well, so how do we, much like Mrs. DeCamp, who just left, her husband, when he was here, expressed concerns of Shannon being a lawless town. How do we address some
No,
of
it's
those
not
things?
lawless. They showed up in 7 minutes.
Yeah,
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 I mean, social media, there's a reason.
Come
behind
up with a
that.
way to fund it.
Well,
No, finally.
Tell- show me the
Give me two.
crime that has occurred in Shannon in the last 18 months.
Well, I mean, no
that's
citizen
the
here is gonna be at any
excitement.
more
I mean, that
risk
was-
than a citizen that lives a mile
outside
out
of
of
town.
town.
we're actually gonna be much better because we have cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
As we just saw, those individuals were captured by multiple Ring cameras.
You
No,
know,
I agree with you. I mean, the fact that they were here within 7 minutes, they
Guys,
had a response.
that's something we could talk about with the money we take in for the
Right.
police department.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't buy the county flock cameras for town.
that's true.
Or give, like what Freeport did, give away Ring cameras.
I think that's the better. I
Yeah.
think you put up Ring cameras. I think the village can put up cameras in the alleyways if it wants.
No, I meant
Yeah.
on the highways.
That's, well, flock cameras aren't necessarily, yeah. Yeah, apart from not being a big fan, I don't think they do exactly what I'm thinking with Ring cameras. At least that's not how they're sold anyway.
Right.
But I agree. I think we
here's
do
the
a
thing.
program and say, if you want a Ring camera, the village is gonna buy your Ring camera for you. If you live on this street or this street or this street.
And that's a pretty inexpensive, I mean, we have 7 cameras at our house and we paid less than $500 for all 7 cameras. I mean, it's an inexpensive
And then
investment.
is it a monthly, is it like a,
If you want
If you
storage
want
for a
the full-
certain
You
amount of
can.
times,
You can
we
buy,
do.
you can buy cloud
Ours
storage.
isn't through Ring, we do ours through Blink, which is an Amazon
which is free for
thing,
storage.
and that
for-
is free up to us. You can, so we can download any videos, but they only stay on there for 30 days. That's the only caveat.
Yeah, I mean, we could put 20, well, not every house needs 7, but you know, you could give 3 cameras to every household.
Even if you
on
gave
certain
every
streets
house,
for 10,000.
even if you approved every household to get a Ring camera, you'd be arms and feet ahead of where we are today.
Yeah.
At
I-
370
I- I-
units.
Something like the block, but maybe like.
I think it's a great
less like the block.
idea.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
like
a
Hill
good
Street
idea.
I think that
cameras
it's a
on
great
it.
idea for the village to fund
Yes.
Ring or Blink cameras for anyone who wants it, if we're shuttering the police department. I think that makes a lot of sense, with the caveat that if law enforcement services need your video, you're gonna cooperate.
Right.
Right.
So I think that makes a lot of sense.
I
so
move
we
we
can
start.
bubble-
The hell with it, we've gone this far.
Yeah, I mean, it's on
No, I'm serious. I move we look into providing each household 1 camera.
Well, I think we should look at what the
Yeah,
cost is.
I don't know if you want to make that as a motion at this time. You
Why don't we
might
look
just have
into it? Why don't I bring it to the board
Okay,
next
I
month?
move you look into it.
It's
Come up with-
pricey.
Yeah, 'cause I actually had talked to him like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was still the mayor. I did like a Zoom meeting with one of the salesmen there. So
One of the flockers.
yeah, so I can contact them again and see if we could do something on the end of the roads or whatever you guys want.
That was the theory. That's the
Yeah.
theory behind the ones at Lake Carroll. You could see them coming and going.
Yeah, you could do them on all the entrances of town, and you know who's coming and
Except when
going.
you got a guy that stands out there with a big old thing and didn't somebody see on the news where
Yeah.
some guy was
You know,
like standing
okay.
in front of it, so it wouldn't,
Yeah,
it wouldn't work.
Would there be any reason we can't have a half a dozen of our own cameras?
no.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
The only,
And I mean,
Well, we do.
on the highway.
the only issue that I will tell you with that is that they have to be connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, ours are not Wi-Fi. Ours are off an NVR, which we just download.
Oh, well, I guess if we're specifically
Oh,
talking
right, like
about
off
like
the rings
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Right.
those have to be
Then I-
connected to
Then
Wi-Fi.
honestly, come up with a price at the next meeting to add some cameras throughout maybe the downtown.
downtown, you can put them on.
And they'd be
alleys.
our
We
cameras,
have stuff-
understand?
We have stuff that, I mean, we own the poles and the alleys,
We own the DVR.
and have this whole town.
I mean, I don't love the Big Brother watching aspect,
Yeah.
but this is a,
But I'm also,
Only
Oh,
when
geez.
necessary.
oh goodies.
They're calling already.
That's the sheriff. He's pissed at me.
Do we? No.
Well, someone should really,
Why is that?
I will
they
bring,
know we're here.
I'll start looking into, cameras. I mean,
And you know what? Maybe there's grants out there for that too. I don't know.
I think it's a great idea to help fund those. I mean,
I'll
that
be
obviously is a
honest
big help to the sheriff, but.
$25,000 we just approved for the,
but I'm saying if we're gifting, whatever, I don't know, is gifting the right word?
It's a grant, it's an agreement. You're going
Yeah.
to
So,
help you're gonna help law enforcement.
I'm
if they
gonna
come.
sign something that says though, I'm gonna.
Yep.
No, it's not a handshake, this is.
No,
no,
this is
You're-
something,
it would have to be a sign.
we're going to give you these 2 cameras, front camera, another camera, and if law enforcement asks, you will cooperate or you will pay.
You
I don't
can't
know.
do that.
Do that.
You can't. The Fifth Amendment.
Well, yeah,
You can't do that.
I guess at
I
least,
bet $10 we can't do that.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you,
I'll look into
I don't
it.
know if you could suspend the Fourth Amendment.
Couldn't you subpoena? Is
The-
that what
the-
it is?
Yeah, well, they could, if they have
Yeah.
probable cause.
Well, I don't know if it'd be unreasonable if they agree to it ahead of time.
I mean, however legal, I mean, I feel like if I'm getting it, then
I mean,
I'm
either
getting
way,
it
the
for-
community comes
That's-
together.
that's what I'm saying. We're
Right,
giving you this
We're gonna
camera.
have it to cooperate.
Right, we're giving you this
They're gonna
camera.
have it. I mean,
We'll look into it. I'm sure there's a host of issues. We will look into it and bring it to the board.
Wouldn't they be able to plead the Fifth?
Well, I mean, it certainly, it may be something that's subject to subpoena or.
Here's what I know, that
to
Freeport
a
has a
search
program
warrant
just
or-
like this. So I think it was a nonprofit that did it, not the government, that they were giving out Ring cameras to businesses, I mean, and residents, because they catch a lot of crime
I
on
think
Ring
it was
cameras
Crime,
nowadays.
I thought I read a story,
Crime
wasn't it
Stoppers,
Crime Stoppers in Freeport, I think.
There was a lot of
initiative.
nonprofits.
I mean, I'm sure most people would be more than happy to cooperate, but I mean,
Well, you'll have-
90% of the time.
You may have the Mrs. Kravitz's out there though, that-
what time did you get home?
Yeah.
And
They don't wanna
you signed an agreement that said you'll turn off your camera that might incriminate you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't thinking
By
about
the way,
that.
you know,
I wasn't thinking about that
I have to
scenario.
sign your paper.
Yeah.
that'd be,
You're right. I wasn't thinking about that scenario. I was thinking about the general crime, not,
Yeah.
hey, we thought you might have been drunk last night while you're driving. Give us your cameras.
We have a camera up on,
Yes.
Yeah, we have cameras already.
We have
No,
one
there's a-
right here.
no, the one up on the pole of JC Wi-Fi's that looks down through downtown.
Yes.
We'll look into this issue. I think it's a great idea and hopefully we can come up with something. Any other discussions on law enforcement in Shannon?
By everybody good.
All right. Yeah, well, that's,
Say.
Not a bad idea.
someplace in Georgia did that.
I guess the best thing you can do for
Be
yourself.
south of Mesa Dixon.
That's his response.
Be like that sheriff in Florida. We would sure appreciate it if you would shoot the intruder.
All right. There's nothing else on 10. We can go back to 7. Do we want to enter executive session to talk about the compensation?
Before we do that, let me use the bathroom.
I'm with him.
Can I move?
We have water here in the building.
Motion, we put it in hands.
No, I
Right,
can't bring it.
same.
Yeah, we
That'd be
I want
great.
some hot water to wash my hands too. I've been beating that drum for years.
My God, you
I know
have
Denise, they're like, I'm gonna fire, and they finally get hot water
You
and
have
new
to-
toilet.
to develop Herculean strength to flush that thing. Do you look at the caller ID? Do you look at the caller ID?
No, why was I supposed to?
You turn off. Or not.
Am I supposed to, do I turn this on?
Technically not.
Dismissal of specific employees. However, immediately considering increasing compensation. That's not it. It might be that one. Yeah, it's gonna have to be the employment compensation of specific
Okay.
employees.
I always feel like I'm like.
Did we just kind of agree to go to a group P? Is
Yeah,
that what we just agreed
This is
to?
the number that called and they did not leave a message, just.
Do we want to make a
Don't know
motion?
that one.
Well,
Do we want to make a motion right now to go into executive session?
Yes.
Who's motioning? Me.
Second by Mashevitz.
At 8:29.
Is it this
Yeah.
mute button?
One second.
Just kidding.
Any opposed? None with Manthea absent.
There you go.
All right,
Marcy
executive
checked
act, executive session left at 8:52 PM. No action taken in the executive session. Coming out
Why
of
do you
the
have to say
executive
that? You
session.
can't do it. It's illegal.
And then in certain scenarios, you can take action.
Oh, all
in
right.
executive session.
Okay.
Any motions?
I make a motion that we change the percentages that we are paying on our employees' health insurance and their families to 100% for the employee, 80% for the children, and 50% for the spouse.
I second.
That's for health, dental, and vision.
All three, correct.
I second. All three.
First by Manthe, second by Reuter.
Manthe and Reuter.
Usual suspects.
Call us whatever you want. Call us the April and Out group.
Okay, Manthe,
Yes.
Can you open that door too?
Reuter,
Yep.
Minders. Did you say no?
Doesn't matter.
Shevitz?
Yes.
Miller?
Yep.
Allen?
Yes.
All right.
We should get shirts that say April and Out.
Any other motions?
We could do some math.
Yes, we
I
do.
make a motion.
That might make it easier.
Somebody else
in the
make
long
this
run.
motion.
I made the big one. Nuh-uh, not me.
Talia made the big one.
I make a motion that we raise Bodie's salary for doing the ordinance enforcement portion of his position that he's been doing without a raise for several weeks now to $65,000.
Okay, Allen?
Yes.
Miller?
Yep.
Shevitz?
Yes.
Minders?
Yes.
Reuter?
Sure.
Manthe?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
No.
Who seconded it?
Talia.
Talia.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear that part. I'm like, we're gonna go with it. I'm like, we're gonna go without a second? Cool. Didn't know you could do that.
Is there a motion for adjournment?
God,
I will
yes.
motion to adjourn. There,
First by
we
Mashevitz,
took it over here. Brought it over.
second by Reuter. Any opposed to adjourning?
Can stay.
No.
And stay.
Adjourned at 8:55.
That's how we used to adjourn our